Chris and Jeff back again. Baseball cards, they're only friends. Super short prints they collect. The rarest of cards, yeah, respect. Blabbin' 'bout slabbin'. Every Thursday's a spot. Blabbin' 'bout slabbin'. SSP cards that we've got. Tune in now, don't be late. Baseball cards, it's worth the wait. Chris and Jeff, they got the scoop on the cards with the best clues. Chris follows the Braves through thick and thin. Jeff's with the Brewers, always in to win. Their love for the game shines on the screen. Collecting variations, they're awaiting.
I hate to turn the music down. Oh, you're still muted, Chris. You're still just singing along to the music.
All day I'll sing along to that track, Jeff.
Yeah, that's some great music. Everybody, hello, welcome to Blabbin' 'bout slabbin', a special Friday edition. Thank you for everybody who's tuning in on Friday. Last night I had a little league tournament game, Chris, so that's why we were unable to go our regular Thursday night.
Yeah, I have a question about the lyrics. And yeah, whoever said that, I think it was Mad City Brew. I do need a new bottle. I'll be going to the store over the weekend. So the phrase thick and thin, which one is good and which one is bad? Because like, what are the Braves in right now? Am I following them right now? Is this is thin?
Yeah, I'd say this is thin. Yeah.
All right. I definitely prefer thick. So I would like to say that thick is good.
Yes.
I don't know. I don't know what the phrase, what the origins of the phrase were.
SFO Sox fan, I've been telling them this. Your volume's still low, Chris. We just can't hear you. Curator says Chris is down in the mud. His audio is really low.
Louder now? Is that better, Jeff?
Yes, that's better.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, I think the volume button in my suitcase got rolled around.
All right. As John said, thick with the double C is good.
Yep. All right.
Whoa. That's really loud.
Oh, now I'm too loud. I gotta mess with these dials. This was in my it was in my suitcase for a couple of days, so I'm sure it got messed up.
So we're saying not better. I'm hearing it better.
Hello.
Okay. M. Parsons says that's good.
Well, that's the toughest critic that I have, Jeff. So
Now
I
it's
think
loud as
I'm gonna say that's okay.
Shelly the turtle, you wrecked his ears. Okay. All right.
Sorry,
I think we're good.
Yeah, Shelly, I got to tell you, as a fellow Braves fan, if I've wrecked your ears, let me wreck your eyes next, so you don't have to watch any more of this embarrassment that we're dealing with.
Oh boy, is that why people are talking about the Rockies in the chat? Are you playing the Rockies?
They are, yes.
Yeah.
Yep. Losing at home to the Rockies. Good stuff.
All right. I think it's Mookie Chilson. Thank you. Our crack research team. Thick and thin is a deli counter related phrase. Okay. So like a slicing of the meat. All right. Today is Friday the 13th, Chris. We're going to talk some hobby horror stories. I know we have a few, and I think you've heard from a few people on Instagram about their own hobby horror stories.
Okay. Yeah, I put a post up, a story up on Instagram, and I got a lot of suggestions, a lot of personal stories. There was a general themes. The mail was one of them. A lot of people having just absolutely brutal time, both sending and receiving cards. eBay sellers being horrible was another constant theme. But I got some good specific ones that I'm excited to share with you guys. But even though it's a spooky Friday the 13th, some of these stories are downright terrifying, Jeff.
Yes, absolutely. Even just saying the word male in the hobby is a little rough. Um, knowing how many things get lost, how many things get stolen. Yes, the mail itself can be a horror story. D3 is saying the Braves are going to come back in the bottom of the ninth and win their next 10 starting tonight.
All right, I appreciate that kind of blind optimism.
Yeah, that's a good way to look at it. A special shout out to one of our favorite chatters, Will Z. Sorry to hear you lost your pup yesterday. Chris knows that feeling all too well recently, and all of us who have had pets know how that is. So sending good thoughts. Glad you're tuning into us. Hopefully we can bring a few smiles to your face tonight. But
yeah, I mean, Jeff, you too. We both had pets that lived very long, very happy, very full lives, but that doesn't make it any easier when the end comes.
No.
So yeah, here's to your pup, Will Z.
Yep. Cheers, Will Z. Yep. All right. Yes, and everybody in the chats sending good thoughts your way. Good reminder, M. Parsons.
Yeah.
So Friday the 13th, some hobby horror stories. Do you want to bring some of those up, Chris? That you heard?
Yeah, let's start with our very own SFO Sox fan was quick to message that he recently purchased an incredible card, and I'll show you how it arrived in the mail. Because anyone who gets cards in the mail, you know, when you open up the bubble mailer and you see this, it's enough to just send absolute chills down your spine. No painter's tape on there. No team bag. Just loose.
Is that like a tiny piece of Scotch tape?
I think it was just left over. Like he used an old top loader.
Oh no! I love that card.
And I will throw my. Hold on. Let me get in here for a sec. If you look right here, Jeff, do you see this black line?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, that is a crease because the package arrived and it looked like it had been run over by a car. So his poor top loaded. And this, by the way, this is a foil board of that incredible 2019 Mookie Betts Stadium Club card. So it's numbered at 25. It's only 24 others of this one. And now this one is mangled beyond repair. I don't think even Kurt's card care, Jeff, could do much for this card.
That's infuriating and heartbreaking. Oh man. It's just such a nice card. We've recently had a couple cards just shipped in a top loader with no bubble mailer, no tape, no team bag, and thankfully they survive. You just never know. It's like playing Russian roulette, though.
It is, and yeah, Brett Colson, not this card. Like, there's just this image is so cool, and there's just so few of these things. I know he was really excited to find one. He bought it off of eBay. Oh, none of the maybe like he let his kid pop all the bubbles. I don't know if bubble mailers do that, but like
ran over, man.
Just so painful.
I was hoping that was just the former owner's hair, a piece of his hair stuck in that top loader and not a crease. That's bad.
Yeah, we don't want DNA with our cards either, Jeff. But if it's between DNA or a bend, we'll take the DNA all day.
Yeah,
long.
we'll take the DNA. Oh man, yeah. That's horrible. And if you remember, Chris, I recently got a Jackson Churio Gold from PSA back, and it was sticking out of the holder. I can't believe that it wasn't more damage, but it sounds like, I know when I posted that, a lot of people said they're getting PSA authentication cards back from eBay popped out of the holder as well. Jeez.
Yeah, they've been doing. They usually when for raw cards, they'll go like small penny sleeve, loose penny sleeve, card saver, and still thankfully it is then in a bag, but it rattles. It can move around.
Yeah, sounds like Uniair. You saved yourself a little extra heartbreak.
Well, I should full disclosure. This is not the one that sold on eBay recently. This was a private sale, which makes it, I don't know, maybe even slightly more infuriating. If it had been on eBay, this would have gone through eBay authentication for sure. Yeah, and he would have been saved. But I mean, it's just such a shame.
Yeah. ATL Jeff Black wants to know if you contacted the seller.
I believe he did. And I let's add a slightly positive spin. The seller did. I guess they agreed. He cut the price in half. So we got 50% of the money back. But still, like, I think he'd rather be out that money and have the card not bent. Like, because
of course,
24 others, one just sold on eBay, so 23 others out there. I mean,
yeah. Sorry, Jeremy. Yeah, I'm feeling this. Yep. If I get this, you hate to have to do this, and you wouldn't think that you would have to do this. Curator says, if I buy a big card, I will ask if they ship off and give recommendations for shipping. Maybe aggravating for sellers, but it is what it is. Seeing this, yeah.
Yeah, I would almost say it's worth it to go into the feedback. If you're looking at a card and I mean, high three figures at least, anything over $500, maybe go in the seller's feedback and just kind of scroll through and see if you see any negative comments about how they ship cards.
Yeah.
Because it's mind-boggling sometimes, Jeff, the decisions that these people make.
Yeah, that's frustrating. That is frustrating. Matthew, shout out to you too. Sorry to hear about Lemon. Man, 7. That's really young. Sorry, Matthew.
Yeah, that's brutal. Sorry about that, Matthew. Yeah, I mean,
Mad City Brew is throwing you under the bus here, Chris. Sounds like Chris got his hands on that Jackson card before shipping it to you. No, Chris hasn't been anywhere near the Churio cards. We can't blame him. You
better be nice to me, buddy, or I'm going to go out and start buying a bunch of cards of that relief pitcher that came out yesterday or the day before, throwing like 102.
Hey, he's a starter.
Oh, was he starting? Oh, I'll
Yes.
end that guy's career in the blink of an eye. So don't
5 no-hit innings. Canes Lance, yeah, it doesn't take much to have a little courtesy for the next owner of your cards. Sounds like you do it really well.
Yeah, I'm just going to leave this up there because this is as spooky and chilling an image as I've seen in the hobby in a while, Jeff. But I wanted to just go through a couple other responses I got.
Yeah, great.
See if anyone can relate to some of these issues. Baseball Cards in the Attic, an Instagram account that definitely is worth following, said he made a trade a couple years ago for a Mike Trout Diamond Parallel rookie. He traded 30 cards for it. And when the card arrived in the mail, he didn't look right. And lo and behold, it turned out to be a fake card.
No.
And the person he traded with was gone. Yeah. So, I mean, that's just brutal.
That's really bad.
Yeah. Clay Greer from Instagram has a fantastic response, I thought. He said his hobby horror story is every hobby box that he has ever ripped.
Oh, boy. Well, I would say that, but you and I have opened a lot of 87 Tops and 89 Donruss that because of their prices, they were not horror stories. So we can still count for that.
Sure. I mean, and the Griffey auto, Jeff, was so cool that honestly, it almost, the memory of it is so positive. It's washed away so many bum boxes.
It does. And that's how they get you.
Yep.
That's how they get you.
Yep. I see some comments in here and I just saw it as well. My eyes might be deceiving me, but Michael Harris just hit a home run to tie that game.
And he's certainly on my bench. Wow.
Well, that's where he belongs, Jeff. You don't get points for defense.
Sadly
is right.
And I get a Brewers update. They're 1-1 in the 5th. Very good. Good to
hear.
Chris, my dad went to the game yesterday. He saw a good game. Saw that outing by that youngster.
Nice.
Finally saw a win. He's had some rough luck at going to Brewer games this year so far.
I got a story from All My Cards Suck, and I think his particular horror story is one that most of us can relate to in one way or another. He specifically remembers years ago he had the opportunity to purchase a Shohei Ohtani gold refractor rookie auto. He didn't specify if it was Bowman or Topps Chrome. I don't think it matters. But instead of buying that card, he bought 3 Acuna base autos. And that is a decision he would like to have again. And I think we all have decisions like that, Jeff, that we would like to have do-overs on.
Yeah, the horror of the missed opportunity. And especially when you're that close. Like we all could say, oh, I wish I would have bought this, or I wish I would have bought that. But the situations where you're almost in, like, about to buy it and then don't, and then it turns out to be the wrong choice. Those really haunt you.
Yeah, I think, Jeff, it was the spring of, was it 23 or February of 23 when we bought our first Ohtani?
Yeah.
Or was it 22? I don't remember. I think it was 23.
I think it was 23.
Had we just taken all the money that we had at that point in our lives and just put it into Ohtani cards, then I could give my wife the new bathroom and the new kitchen she wants right now. but some Acuna, some Tatis cards still looked pretty good. And well,
Yeah. Tatis, Vlad. Yeah.
mistakes were made.
So Kane's Lance, Threads. I've heard a little bit about Threads, but I don't use it very much. I'd love to see your Cheerios, though. Do you have any other? No Instagram for you, Kane's Lance, I'm assuming.
I've not seen him on Instagram, so I'm not sure. Yeah, John, I am sorry. And Doc's cards, that is an excellent Veronica Vaughn reference. Don't want to put on the screen, but that's pretty good. Okay, hold on. Yeah. I got that there seems to be an anonymous message I got on Instagram. I couldn't make out the user, but it did say that every day of her life has been a horror movie since her husband joined the hobby. I don't know who that is.
Was it M. Parsons?
No,
Okay.
it wasn't. But I don't know. They didn't identify themselves, so maybe it was. Maybe she has a burner.
Take it off. We're starting to give give people fits of anxiety in the.
Oof. That's what Friday the 13th is all about, Jeff. Fits of anxiety. Whew. While I'm getting my next story up, speaking of Friday the 13th, can anyone tell me the young future Hollywood royalty that is murdered in the first Friday the 13th movie? Does that make sense how I phrased it? Like he became a really big star. I think that was his first movie, and I believe he gets a spear through the chest or something like that.
Oh man, that sounds so familiar. I do. Kevin Bacon.
Yep, SFO Sox fan. Nailed it real quick.
Johnny Depp is in the other very famous horror-themed film.
Yes, he gets killed by Freddy Krueger, I believe.
Yeah.
Oh, hold on. There's a good one up here. Hold on. Let me get it. This comes from Michigan Cards and Graphs.
Worst I've had was discovering I apparently pulled a Marc-Andre Fleury Young Guns as a kid, didn't know the importance, and found it years later with soft corners and a crease.
Yeah, as kids, we love these cards, Jeff. It doesn't really occur to us at the time that they could have value. I mean, I remember just every card I pulled out, I was trying to get into sheets in my binders. And looking back at some of the stuff I had, like it was not put in there with any remote care, like just jammed home one way or the other. So yeah, I get you. Those Young Guns cards, they've really taken off.
Kane, I do have Twitter, no IG. I have Twitter that I don't use very much, but send me your handle and maybe I can find you on there so I can see those sweet Cheerios.
Oh yeah.
Either on here or my emails in the description.
I made when I was recently sort of getting back into making trades. This would have to be like 2021, I think. I made a trade with a buddy of mine I sent him a Fernando Tatis Jr. first Bowman Chrome, just the base card. And then he sent me, maybe this was even in 2020. And then he sent me a Topps Chrome update Soto base card and a Topps Chrome Acuna base card. So it's not a crazy trade by any means. But the two cards he sent me never arrived. They were confirmed delivered somewhere, and we looked it up, and I had swapped two of the numbers in my zip code when I sent him my address. But amazingly, UPS confirmed the address, shipped the card, and then said, confirmed it delivered. And I went to every house on my block. My street is very short, and no one on my street got this card. It just vanished into thin air. And there was a brief time when those two cards in a 10, Jeff, were going for the Soto was up to $500-$600 just the base card.
It was hundreds of dollars. That was the base card boom. Yeah. That's a terrible feeling. Yeah.
Ironically, now we basically exchanged $35 worth of cards.
Right. Yeah.
Very frustrating at the time.
Yeah. Well, the joke's on whoever got the cards then, as long as they held them, unless they sold them right away. Then good for them. I have a horror story from when I was a kid. I don't know how it was by you guys, Chris, but a lot of times we'd take our binders to the store, like to the hobby shop.
Mm-hmm.
They'd look through there. That's how I sold all my Mike Greenwells. He picked out the Mike Greenwells. I still remember them paging through and picking out the ones they could have a use for.
Yep.
So I was used to doing that. And one time I did that, and I had left it on the counter. I was looking around the shop, and then when I left with my binder, I got home and saw about half the cards were missing. Like somebody went through there and pulled out the cards while I was at the hobby shop. I was so sad as a kid. And I called the guy, and I mean, he apologized, but he didn't know what else to do about it. So I learned my lesson about not leaving it on the counter there. But it was, that was a pretty horrific, traumatizing experience as a kid.
Yeah, that is brutal. At that baseball card club that I was in fifth grade, I remember putting my card binder in my locker and shutting it and not realizing that I had shut the edge of the binder like in the door. So like all the cards on the right side of the page all had like dinged edges. All those 87 Topps beauties, Jeff.
Man, think of what they'd be worth now if you still had them. Yeah, and as a kid, those sort of things feel really bad.
They do. They absolutely crush you.
Yeah. Christian, this sounds awesome. Got my hands on a 2019 opening day 36-pack box. It's a lot of packs. Hoping to get lucky with an SSP for a little birthday rip this weekend. Awesome.
Yeah, if you guys have not seen a box of opening day, it looks small. It looks like a mega box, but there are somehow like 36 packs jammed in. There's no wasted space. It's like the most efficiently packed box.
Yes, they actually fill the box. Yeah. I wanted to say, late 90s, somebody stole some of my Pokemon like that. Haven't touched it since. Yeah, it's just so disheartening as a kid. It's like as a kid, you just trust implicitly places. Like
Forbidden Donut here suggests a Halloween episode idea where we talk about our 10 favorite horror movies.
Yeah, I see people throwing up horror ideas in the comments, so I'm guessing that's what that's referring to.
Yeah, I'm sorry to say that's not my genre, like at all. I do not love those. I know Jeff and his wife, they love to go to horror movies. Not so much me. I can't really get into it. I just can't. I will say probably and go ahead and mock me if you must. But I think the horror movie that I thought was like the best movie that I've seen is probably outside of like The Exorcist, which is incredible. I don't think Silence of the Lambs was a horror movie. I don't even think The Shining should qualify as a horror movie because it's just
definitely qualifies.
I don't know. It's more weird and creepy. But The Ring scared the absolute hell out of me.
What did?
The Ring.
Oh yeah,
I saw when I was like in college.
Yeah, that was pretty good. There was like a big resurgence of horror movies, kind of after Scream in the late 90s, which was like a parody of horror movies. Then we saw some really good, and a lot of those were originally Asian films, like Japanese films.
Oh yeah. And I was told by several people that the Ringu, I think it's called, the Japanese one, I should never watch it. That I would not emotionally recover from it, so I never bothered.
Yeah. Rage, this sounds like you should have bought a lottery ticket, bought one box of 2020, pulled a Trout dugout peaks, and Acuna walked this way.
Lost to chips. You got what was I going to say? Yeah, I think my personal favorite Halloween stuff is just the Simpsons ones, the Treehouse of Horror episodes, which Jeff doesn't understand, but those are I really enjoy those. Those are great. Just freaky enough.
I've heard that that's a very popular television program. Somebody was saying, Chris C, I just want to give you a shout out. Congrats on this pickup, Lou Alcindor. Yeah, I'm not. Neither of us are too big into vintage or basketball, but yes, that's a really cool card, and sounds like it has a great eye appeal. So, congrats on the pickup. And I'm a big Bucks fan, so.
Oh my goodness! Hold on, Ballpark Frank here. His horror story is an older gentleman in his home. Sent 5 cars to PSA, put $3,500 of insurance, was upcharged a double upcharge on a 58 mantle to PSA 8 and one other. Cards coming back now. I don't think Ballpark Frank is totally familiar with the horror genre, Jeff. Because while this did cost more money, this seems like overall a positive story. A 58 mantle and an 8. That sounds incredible to me.
Well, is this just the setup? Is there another one coming through here that they're coming back worth 10,000 and lost in the mail?
Oh boy, did I?
Yes, because you're right. This sounds like a pretty uplifting story. I would say.
Yeah. Humble horror.
Like a humble brag. Yeah, poor guy.
Oh,
Had to pay 2 upcharges.
a 58 mantle and a PSA 8. That's going to keep me awake.
But yes, it's a real thing about not having cards insured through the mail or insured to their full amount. Oh, so it says
no.
next one.
Oh no, I didn't see it. Oh God.
Here we go. Got to our region sorting center. Package was involved in a toxic spill situation. Toxic spill. Post office had to destroy all packages in that room. Collector was awarded $3,500 insurance money. Oh boy. Now I have a question about that because typically PSA pays the insurance. You have to pay to get your cards back. And if you're paying the upcharge, that means they know the value. So I'm surprised you got away with, or he got away with just paying whatever it was insurance wise to get those $3,500 back.
Yeah, I'm shocked. That PSA didn't put more insurance on that return package because the insurance you select is based on what you're expecting. But if it's if they've upcharged you, they know it's worth more. They should have made you pay more for more.
Usually they do. Because they want you to pay more because they're supposed to insure it. I would try to follow up with that if he was there because.
But this is now a new terror unlocked. By the way, Ballpark Frank, this one will keep me up at night. A toxic spill. Oh yeah, will you
destroy everything there, man?
I didn't need to hear that, Jeff. This will not be
toxic spill. Would be, I guess, maybe another package was full of some kind of slime.
God. So yeah, when you put all that together, you got upcharge, you got good news, and then you literally just
that's a roller coaster. So that is a good movie, plot. Kane's Land said, did it go to Flint? Forbidden Donut, My Horror Story, 1994, Mantle Griffey Dual Auto. Ooh. My local LCS told me it was in Series 2, so I did the logical thing and went home and dropped $2K, only to find out later it's in Series 1. You mean $2K on packs?
Yeah, that would be my guess. Yeah, that's tough. That's tough. It's also a big stretch of the word logical, Jeff.
Yeah. That's true. It is a stretch. The whole room had to be destroyed. Rage points out he wants to see the package soaked in this toxic spill so he knows it wasn't spilled into someone else's pocket toxically.
I mean, that is literally horrific. I mean, that raises my heart rate.
Yeah, that's
those little boxes, just fantastic. Well, Ballpark Frank, I'm sorry we made light of it initially. I did not see the follow-up. That is awful.
Chris, so I hope that's one thing we can avoid because now we have the PSA drop-off at Burbank Cards, drop-off and pickup. So hopefully by not having to go to any sort of postal center or mail center, there won't be any chance for a toxic spill.
The only toxic situations in the Burbank shop are going to be my protein heavy farts for my egg concentrated diet that I'm currently on. That can clear out a room for sure. I don't think we'd have to destroy the Burbank sports card store, Jeff, but I can see an evacuation situation happening very, very easily.
All right. Well, we better go in there with a warning. Although maybe you'll clear out the line if there's a line.
By the way, Steve Clifton, I'm chuckling at this. I love that. Yes, underneath that post office, hopefully, there's 4 turtles and a rat. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Whoa. For some reason, I can't begin to explain, Jeff. I didn't put the trivia thing in the. Didn't put the trivia link in there.
Oh yeah, let's get in here for trivia.
Let me get to that. You talk about the prize while I'm doing that.
I'm going to talk about we've got a dual prize, and these are back when more than one company, Chris, had the licenses.
That doesn't sound
right. A couple Mike Schmidt cards. Here's a Mike Schmidt. This is actually back when manufactured patches seemed worthwhile. So it's a manufactured patch, but it's a really cool patch. It's numbered out of 35. You still get the logos. It's from Upper Deck. And we get another Mike Schmidt parallel number to 50. I wish there was more than one company that had the license again, because the competition seems to make everything better.
It does. Yeah, it definitely fosters a little bit more demand for creativity. Mad City Brew, that's funny. Prayers for M. Parsons. It can be tough. Windows have to be opened and frequently, and birds drop like flies. It's not even funny. Toxic glutes. By the way, the Mike Schmidt prize may or may not be a hint that in trivia, Mike Schmidt will be an answer, but
may not.
I'm going to think about. Oh my goodness! Did Marcelo Zuna just hit a home run?
According to M. Parsons.
Yeah, he did. Get that.
Curator.
Braves just good enough to beat the Rockies at home.
This is something we will have information on for you guys. Yeah, we haven't had a drop off yet, but from all accounts, it seems pretty easy.
We are hoping early next week that we will have at least a small submission to drop off.
Yep.
Oh, what was I had a. It's
Yeah.
gone, whatever it was. Before also regarding trivia, a shout out to Docs Cards, who sent me a couple really great glute focused questions. So I put one in this week. So let me know what you guys think of that one. It's nice to get trivia submissions from you guys.
Yeah, we are going to at some point have the all trivia submission trivia at some point. So we'll have to do that on our Instagram, where we solicit more questions.
We'll workshop the name of that one. But yeah, I like the idea a lot.
We'll have some sort of acronym that goes quickly. Holmes 168, back in 1984, I traded my freshly pulled Darryl Strawberry for a bunch of bulk Fleer. I chose the bulk Fleer over my friend's 58 mantle he offered. This is the second mention of a 58 mantle in the same chat.
I mean, what are the odds that same 58 mantle is now destroyed in a
PSA 8 at the bottom of a toxic? Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, unfortunately, yeah, trades like that, there's a lot of stuff like that in hindsight. I remember being at Cooperstown with my dad, and a 52 mantle was in one of those like 2-inch, well, it looks about 6 inches to me, thick plastic screw down. And it said, my dad's like, oh, that card's $55. And the guy was like, no, there's no decimal point there, sir. It's 5,500. And he mentioned it recently, and I told him,
right? Who would pay that?
Yeah, who would pay that? That's ridiculous. In hindsight, we should have bought that card.
Yes, it'd be a different discussion right now if you bought that card. BFG, this is a great idea. A video on the drop-off process and how it goes. Curator, hit us up, because yes, I think we could get something worked out.
Yeah.
Some positive Braves vibes. Chris here from Will's. At least good Acuna showed up after the injury. I was just talking to Chris the other day. I can't believe how many home runs he's got already. He just came back.
Our very own Shelly the Turtle posted to his Instagram that in right fielders for baseball, Acuna already has the 8th most WAR. He's only played 17, 18 games, so he's on a good pace.
That's a commentary on how bad offense has been across the league too.
Yeah. He's not really running, but that's okay. We don't care if he steals bases. We just need him to play, get on base, throw guys out, score runs.
Crazy Cryptids, Topps SSP photography is essentially just base card 90s upper deck photography. Some great upper deck cards.
Even images on the back of those upper deck cards were pretty good.
Yeah.
But I would Crazy Cryptids, I would counter by saying some of these Series 2 Golden Mirrors, they look a lot like 1992 Bowman photography.
Yes, I've gotten a few notes on that, as I bet you have, Chris, on Instagram. Like, what's up with these images? J.E. Urseth, I think this is something a lot of people our age can relate to. Hobby Horror is finding out my dad had mantles and maze and his bike spokes, and his mother burned his entire collection when he went to the army. I don't know about the burning the collection. That's, maybe you just had a need for firewood, so they put that in there. But man, yeah, well, that's what makes most of those cards so valuable, Chris, is because people didn't take care of them the way they do today.
Exactly. I guess he would be like my second cousin. I went to my uncle's funeral last year, and I was talking to my second cousin, who was like 82 or 83 at the time. And he we were talking about baseball and baseball cards. He's like, I got a story, but I don't even want to tell you. And I'm like, oh, here we go. So he was a Yankee fan growing up, and he said he wasn't thinking about value, but he collected Yankees. So he traded all his friends for all the Ruth and Gehrig cards he could get his hands on. And then sure enough, when he went to college, his parents moved, and they literally, he said, they did not bring any of my stuff.
They just
Like
left
nothing. They sold it. They just got rid of it. Nothing. Not any of his clothes, his bed, nothing. I was like, dude, they didn't want you to come back home. But he said like that was just,
right.
It haunts him to this day. Like he curated his collection and it was gone.
Oh man. Chris, on the other hand, I do have to give a shout out in that regard to my parents because they kept all of my cards, all of those 80s cards. And I know your parents did too. So then when your parents had to move, you had a big pile on your hands. It
actually makes me sad. But they moved once before. So they actually paid a moving company to ship like binders of 88 Donruss cards. I still feel like I owe them money. Like they should not have paid a cent for that. I appreciate it. I appreciate the gesture, but totally unnecessary.
Yeah, man.
I did want a couple more horror stories, Jeff, before
go.
Senior Tops messaged me that he sold an Aaron Judge Topps Chrome rookie refractor in a PSA 10 for $375 a couple years ago. Those things are always going to happen. Timing of buy sell
too soon horror stories. And then you always try to think of what else you did with those funds. Sometimes you did something good, and sometimes you bought a box of wax.
Right? Yeah. I mean, I know that when we were raising money for that Blue Ohtani, we sold the Topps Update SSP with the follow through.
Yes.
And I think we netted like $3,000 on that. So we did make a small profit because we got that one early. But within I think 3 months, one sold for $5,000, then $6,000. And I think the highest that card is sold for is something like $8,000 or something. $8 or
$8,500, something crazy like that. Yeah. But in that case, you feel a little better.
Yeah, knowing that we at least bought other Ohtani with it. Had we taken that money and bought a Guerrero card, I would probably just, throw myself off the roof.
Yeah, and that's one thing that Chris and I have talked about if you've watched the channel for a while. As much as we hate getting rid of players, getting rid of cards that we like, even if we have a profit on it, if we're putting it into another card of that player, it takes away a little bit of the anxiety, because if that player does poorly, well, then the other card would have went down anyway. If the player does well, then hopefully this card rises with it. Doesn't always work, but.
Oh my God, I got to share. I don't think you shared this one yet, but this one comes from J.E. Earthseth here. And I love movie posters, stuff like that. I think it's fascinating, and I love to collect or, look at them. So his mom worked at a movie theater in the 70s, 80s, and collected movie posters. Think Star Wars, Jaws, all real. Those first edition ones are crazy valuable. Yep. All in great shape. Left in the attic when they moved.
Yeah, so hopefully one's two-sided. Yeah, that would make for some amazing framed artwork.
Hopefully, J.E., there wasn't a conversation about what could be. There's a limited space, and they're like, well, we either bring these posters or we bring J.E.'s 87 Topps baseball complete set collection. And they went with that instead. So hopefully that's not what happened. But I tell your mom I am very sorry, because that stuff it's obviously valuable, but it's also just really cool. Like Americana type stuff.
Yes, very cool. Speaking of that, can't be too mad at this sports guy, Corey. Ted Williams signed my uncle's baseball glove when he was a kid, and my uncle just went out and played with it. That's really cool, because he probably was the envy of all the neighborhood kids with a real Ted Williams autograph on there. I get it, but at the same time, I get being upset by playing with it, but at the same time, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
It is. I mean, they should make a movie about that. Maybe that's the Sandlot sequel. We had the Babe Ruth ball. Now we need the Ted Williams glove.
And the glove, a regular glove signed by the player is probably not as valuable as, say, like on the sweet spot of a ball or something, or a player worn glove, of course. So I wouldn't be too worried about the value of that. I'm glad he played with it.
Yeah. I just want to point out there's been a fun conversation about my adventures on the roof. Apparently, SFO Sox fan suggesting M. Parsons would give me a hand off the roof, and she's already up there loosening some shingles, Jeff, just in case.
What are you doing on the roof?
I was going to throw myself off if we bought more Guerrero cards.
Yeah, a little boost. Someone got a fine, JE. They forgot to check the attic. Okay. It's tough to display a double-sided poster. Absolutely. You'd have to get one of those frames that's a clear frame that you could just.
Oh yeah, but that's just how they were printed. It wasn't. They weren't meant for the back to be displayed. They were just printed like that, so it went through. It's not the same image on, but it's like the reverse. It's like a top's clear.
Yeah, or some did have dual sides, and they'd like put those little circle grommets in the top and then hang them at places you could see from different sides. Yeah, it would be, those old posters are really cool.
The Blabbin word of the day, guys, grommet.
Yeah.
I've only heard that in regards to my favorite claymation character, Wallace and Gromit, but I did not realize it was an actual thing. So thank you, Jeff.
Sports Guy Corey. All right, this one I'll give you. That Ted Williams glove, maybe not bad, but this is pretty. Great uncle could have bought the Baltimore Colts in 1951 for $50,000. Chances are it's went up since then.
Wow. Yeah, that's yeah. I mean, that's not something that many people had the opportunity to purchase, Jeff. For sure.
Oh, our friend Mr. Pliskin is here. I love this.
Yep.
In the 80s, I picked one rookie card each year to buy more than all the rest, hoping to hit it big. I now own 1,000 Gerald Youngs, 300 Wally Joiners, 600 Ty Griffins, and 500 Sheffields over Griffey. Yeah, man, I had quite the Ellis Burks, Devon White, and Dan Plesac collection as well. So I can just stacks of them.
Do you still have any of those Dan Plesacs? Because I'd like to work on a arts and crafts project around your Dan Plesac collection if you still have it.
Next time I go visit my parents, I'll see if I have some. I had a bunch of his autographed 87 Topps cards too. If I can find them, I'll definitely send that to you in a care package.
Yeah, I'm picturing a really elaborate dartboard in my head.
Yeah. Oh, Glenn Braggs. Side story here, Chris. I met Glenn Braggs. I don't know if you remember Glenn Braggs, but he was a Brewers outfielder in the late 80s. Just, you would have loved him. Monster of a guy. Great glutes. Okay. But he came to a local card shop and signed cards. And I remember shaking the man's hand, and I was maybe like 10 years old, but my hand completely disappeared. Like 6'4", giant hands. It just stuck out to me when he was signing his card for me. It just seemed so small in his hands. Yeah.
You wonder how guys like that hold a pen.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Glenn Braggsy. Yeah. He was a Euchre favorite.
Oh.
No Pat Listashes. That was right after I was getting out of the hobby when Pat Listash made his appearance. So no, I wasn't.
1991 Fleer Ultra. I think Pat Listash was a rookie, had that little like rookie thing. I had that card. Maybe it was 91.
Rookie of the year, 92, I believe.
Yeah, I believe that is correct.
Yeah. Yeah,
Rage, you are exactly right. We talked about Steve Avery's high school numbers, which are the thing of absolute legend.
Going around this week, I don't know if you saw, Chris, but on Instagram, somebody had posted, like, there was a story about all these players' high school statistics, and it just was ridiculous.
Yeah, it started with Pete Incaviglia, right? I think he was the first one.
Yeah, because Pete Incaviglia, I remember his 87 Topps. And he was one of the few guys to skip the minor leagues altogether. He had such a dominant career. Oklahoma State, I can't remember where he played in college, but it put up a huge bunch of huge numbers in college, and then went right to Texas. And it was kind of like a Rob Deere type.
Yeah, that's what Al Kaline did, but he did it from high school right to the major leagues.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Got to meet Peter Moylan. Nice. Let's see. Back to some. I got two more horror stories, and I have one I want to remind Jeff of that I think he's probably gone to therapy to forget about.
All right, I probably forgot about it. Yeah,
the MLB kid on Instagram tells me he bought a Mike Trout Finest auto, which, as you guys probably know, is his only on-card rookie auto. Fantastic card, really excited, and the Postal Service lost it. So that is that's just the worst. When you sit there refreshing your tracking and it doesn't change for like 4 or 5 days, and you start to think, am I ever going to get this card? And unfortunately, sometimes we don't.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I was going to say Cardboard Showcase was a little vague, but I think Jeff, you and I know what this feels like. Buying baseball cards I was really excited about and happy to have, and then watching them lose 70 to 90% of their value.
It's my custom collection.
Yeah.
Um,
I hate to say that I know his pain, but I think we all know his pain with at least a few cards in our collection.
Yes, we can relate. I wanted to. Oh, sorry.
Just wanted. Sorry, there was just a couple mentions of Tom Glavine playing hockey up here that I thought were pretty cool. SFO Sox fans, has his friend played hockey with Tom Glavine in high school? Yeah, he was a very good hockey player in Michigan sports here.
Joe Mauer.
Yeah, he was drafted ahead of a couple of those Hall of Famers right there. Wow. Brett Hall still has, I think, the most disputed goal in NHL history. Anyway, sorry, Jeff.
I just wanted to, before you get to more horror stories, big trade for the Brewers, Chris. Big trade. Yeah, BFG. Yeah, good luck. Don't hold your breath waiting for that, but let us know when it gets in. Andrew Vaughn. Aaron Savali got traded for Andrew Vaughn, Chris. I don't know if you heard about this, but
I did.
It was interesting because Savali is just sort of a middle of the rotation guy, and the Brewers told him he would be out of the rotation because they wanted to bring Miz up to pitch, which we saw last night. And he said he still wanted to start, which I get, but I mean, so many things happen in a baseball season. Players go down all the time. He'd probably be right back in there. But instead, he said he wanted to go somewhere. Within 24 hours, the Brewers front office made a trade, which is incredible efficiency.
Yeah.
And to the White Sox. So he won't sniff a playoff run, but he will pitch every fifth day. So I guess it just depends on priorities. They got Andrew Vaughn, which, if you remember, he's on the cover of one of my Bowman draft boxes here. He was the number 3 overall pick, but really kind of flamed out.
Yep.
So my friend who is and I thought, great, they got something for Savali. Maybe Vaughn can use a change of scenery, but I did want to share this tweet that my friend who is a White Sox fan sent along. Okay. Tell me if you can see it. I'll read it.
Yep. Go ahead.
Okay. Listen, was he the greatest player? No. But did he improve himself over time? Also, no. But did he have a work ethic that made you pull like crazy for him to break through? Again, no. But as a leader, did he set a good clubhouse example that had good habits and culture? No. So it's pretty much like he's a complete loss on the south side of Chicago, which just makes you wonder how they can be so far off with those top draft picks.
I got to tell you, Jeff, there's got to be a correlation to performance like that and a complete lack of eyebrows. Like, that cannot be a coincidence. Like, this dude has nothing protecting his eyes whatsoever.
Yeah, I mean, what? I'm trying to get a bigger picture of it, but
I'm good actually where we are.
I mean, you're right. Maybe that's it.
I don't know, man. I saw the movie Powder, and I don't think that kid would be any better at baseball than Andrew Vaughn has been.
Well, let's see how he does in Milwaukee. Well, he's in AAA, but yeah. Tim, White Sox didn't help him any. You're absolutely right.
That is fair.
Probably at the deadline, but
that's fair. I mean, being a part of the White Sox organization over the last 6 years, it's rough. It's tough.
Yeah.
Oh, he does.
Powder.
Powder. The eyes, he does look a bit like the Chicken Run animated people.
All right, Matt. Maybe Matt's right. So apologies if there's.
Oh God, now I feel like a jerk. But
yeah.
To be fair, I felt like a jerk.
Well,
anyway.
apparently his lack of effort still didn't endear him to the fans there. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. The Brewers have long had a problem filling a spot at first base, and after this year, we'll see what Hoskins does. So
yeah. I see this Scotty in our chat asked if I remember. Oh, nope, wrong thing. Do I remember? Yeah. Chuck Dahlbach. And yes, I remember the RC. I feel very safe about the RC situation. Unless the Rockies go on a historic.
Hey, won a game for him. I
mean, what are they going to have to go 70-2 to make the playoff? I do remember this play. I was young, but I remember this play. And I believe that same inning, the Braves had the bases loaded and 1 out in Game 7, and Sid Bream wrapped into a 3-2-3 double play to get Jack Morris out of the inning and keep that shutout going. That was an incredible game. Maybe one of the best Game 7s in baseball ever. 10 innings pitched, no runs allowed in a World Series Game 7. I mean,
3-2-3. It was a 3-2-3 double play.
Yeah, first base, catcher, first base.
So, but what did Chuck Knobloch have to do with that?
So Lonnie Smith was on first, and
Yeah.
who hit the double? Was it Gant? Someone on the Braves doubled, and Lonnie Smith lost the ball and didn't pick up the third base coach, and he just saw Chuck Knobloch kind of pretend to like he was catching a relay or something, and he hesitated and stopped and then ran again. And it's just like, Pendleton, thank you. It's haunting, because if he just has his head down, if he picks up that third base coach and zips around second base, he's going to score on that double, and it would be 1-0 Atlanta. Obviously we can't assume that everything else stays the same. You can't do that, but it would have given them a lead in Game 7 for sure. And it's something that Braves fans have really, it sticks in their head a lot as one of the reasons, a postseason blunder of sorts.
That's tough. Yeah. That didn't stick in my mind as the memory from that game. Is that why Knobloch subsequently had some issues? Maybe it was like,
was it yips related? I don't think so.
Karma catching up to him.
I don't know. How do we feel about a play like that? I think it's completely fine. I have no problem with the fake tag. He deked the guy. We see that all the time with outfielders pretending they're going to catch the ball. I have no problem with that. If you're the base runner, it's on you to see where the ball is and to figure out what's going on. You got coaches out there.
Yeah, agreed.
So it doesn't. I give props to Knobloch for he sold that fake, and maybe it won them the World Series. I don't know.
Yeah. JE. Hopefully the 91 Game 7 DVD didn't go in the burn barrel, and you can dig it out and watch it after this. Totally. This is what I remember about that game. Yeah. Pitching 10 innings is crazy. Never again.
He in 91 and Hershiser in 88, Jeff, they just took the ball and they threw until the game was over, basically.
The most recent thing for me that sticks in my mind as a Brewer fan is Sabathia in 08, because he took the ball and wouldn't give it up for the entire second half of the season for the Brewers. But
this is a great question from that is hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. BFG with a trivia question out here. Anyone know how many pitches Jack Morris threw in that game? I have no idea.
No idea. 146.
I would take the under. It wasn't like a big strikeout game. He got a lot of contact, getting a ton of ground balls.
Pretty efficient.
Matt Olson with an actual hit. I'm going to say it was like 117.
Matt Olson with a hit?
Yeah, Matt Olson with an actual hit. I think the bigger shock to me is that Austin Riley had a hit. That, to me, that might be the more shocking thing. Or that he made any contact whatsoever. But neither here nor there. But yeah.
All right, we've got guesses. 131, 126.
So, BFG, you're going to have to look this up and let us know. Raid says Jack Morris is the most overrated pitcher to. I'm sorry, Jeff. The Hall of Fame.
His postseason resume is, we've talked about before whether or not postseason should be factored in, and I think for him it was a huge boon in his favor. Yeah,
because he was great with the 84 Tigers.
Yes.
He was great with the 91 Twins, and then he was also, if you'll forget, he was on that 92 Blue Jays team.
Blue Jays, yeah, with Paul
Molitor. The poor Braves had to face him the following year again, and to their credit, they beat the hell out of him, but the Blue Jays still beat him, unfortunately. So yeah, I think Jack Morris has 3 rings. He's not a lot of pitchers from the 80s, I think, made the Hall of Fame. People see, that one doesn't make me angry like Billy Wagner.
Yeah. I don't have too much of a problem with him. I feel like there were a lot of pitchers from the 80s or who were wrapping up their careers in the 80s that put up big stats just because they were around for so long.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Like the Suttons, the Perrys, the Negros, for sure.
Yeah.
Looking at Blyleven, though, I'm shocked he didn't get in earlier. Like he's like top 5 or top 8 in Ks, top 10, something like that. I'll
Yeah,
just
but
keep saying it till I get it right.
I mean, the last what decade of his career was not great.
No.
I mean, it was like the end of Steve Carlton's career, bouncing around all those.
Yeah, but I mean, Carlton was pretty good till the very end. I'll never forget the 83 Fleer card of him on the Twins, where it just looks like he doesn't want to be there. Like he knows he shouldn't be there.
What do you mean, like 86 Fleer?
Yeah, so it's bad. All those are bad.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, he was on the Twins and the Indians at the end there.
Yes. Oh, the Twins card is the one I'm picturing.
Yeah.
Hold on. You know what? I have to just dig it up because I have an image of it in my head.
It's 87 that you're thinking of.
You might be right.
Thick boy, this is a great. I love this. Jack Morris was Dave Stieb with the playoff resume. Yeah, Stieb was one of the best regular season pitchers of the 80s. He threw those back-to-back games where he lost no hitters in the ninth. Chris.
Yes. Yeah, this is the card I was thinking of.
88 even. Yeah,
Yeah,
he doesn't
he's just in there and he's like, everything hurts, Jeff. Like my elbow hurts, my back hurts, my knees hurt.
Yeah.
But I bet he made more money that year than he did like 75 through 79 or something like that.
Yeah. 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 And Sports Guy Corey, exactly. Over 15 years of not playing, Blyleven went from 5% to 75% to get in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Oh, geez, my
Tom Seaver with the Red Sox vibe. Remember that Photoshop Red Sox hat? It was that 86 Tops traded that Seaver has that Red Sox hat on.
Yes.
Yeah.
Boy, that 86 Tops traded set, Jeff. It just keeps on giving, doesn't it?
Yes. Love it.
Between the rookies, that none of which made the Hall of Fame, which is insane. The Jim Leland hat to the Tom Seaver.
Yeah, we're getting close to trivia, aren't we, Chris?
Yes, I just plug in my computer. Yeah, if we could just someone M Parsons, if you want to share that link one more time. We have some fun questions in this, kind of a different, no MVP questions this time. A couple double rookie questions and some stuff that we actually did talk about already on the show, Jeff. So trying to help people out.
Yes, if you're tuned in, you'll be doing well.
Oh, Chris C. Sorry, Jeff. This is a card. I wanted to do a video. Jeff and I at some point will do it this year of like cards that don't exist, but we wish did. Cards that should exist. And yes, an 86 Tops traded McGriff. Like it was blind stinking luck that he's in that Donruss set. He just happened to be there that day when they were Donruss was there taking pictures. But man, an 86 Tops traded McGriff would be awesome, especially in a Tiffany.
Then we'd have a Hall of Famer in that set.
Yeah. And they could save that huge cup of his that they used in 87 Tops. They could have put it in 86.
Yes. You might have the same picture. Yeah, Mookie, Kevin Mitchell. That was a huge card. That was a huge card for a while.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. All right, get into the trivia. We're playing for some Mike Schmidt cards. An upper deck. And let's see. This is a Timeless Treasures. Chris, it's a Timeless Treasures. 2 licensed cards by companies that no longer have a license.
Yeah, I feel like we've been giving away a lot of Phillies stuff lately, Jeff, which I'm fine with because I don't really want to have Phillies cards.
Yeah, shout out to Celeste and her dad. By the way, Chris, they did receive our Phillies package. Thanks to Rhino Rider for allowing a Phillies fan to get the Tug McGraw jersey. It's now a good home with Celeste and her family.
Absolutely. And Michigan Cards and Graphs. Imagine this card, Jeff. Whitaker, Trammell, Parrish, and Morris all on one set. They were all on quad rookies, just not on the same. Man, that would be a card.
Yeah, but how come he's leaving out Paul Molitor? Come on. I mean, I guess he just wants Detroit guys, but
yeah, don't let that Michigan name fool you. But yeah, I do really like the Trammell Molitor combination. That's a pretty good duel.
Usually when you see them there, I believe, Chris, it's called the registration. The clearness of the picture is always pretty rough with that Molitor Trammell one. So when you see a clear one, it stands out.
Yeah, I think there's like 1 or 2 print dots in the same spot on almost every single copy of that card. And yeah, I'm trying to think how many of those like quad rookies or even dual rookies are both players or are 2 players in the Hall of Fame? I was trying to think of like 77. If there's any, I know Andre Dawson's on one, but I don't think he's on one with another Hall of Famer. That Trammell Molitor card might be the only one. So keep that in mind for a future trivia question.
Oh, Jen's here. Yes.
Oh,
and
nice.
if anybody wants to see Celeste in the Tug McGraw jersey, check out our Instagram. She posted a a video.
It's a little baggy, but she'll grow into it.
Yeah, she's got some room to grow. Chris, question for you. You addressed the Ohtani Golden Mirror from Series 2, a suit shot with 2 other players, I believe.
Curator, we're going to run trivia in a minute. Then we're going to go through some of our favorite and least favorite Series Bs that we have seen. The Ohtani, I'm not sure which card you're talking about, because the Ohtani that I've seen it might be the flagship card of the year.
And it's already sold for lots and lots of money.
Yes. Yeah, we'll talk about that right after we run trivia. And there are some really, really bad ones.
Yeah.
And yes, Sports Guy Corey, thank you. I cannot believe I didn't think about that off the top of my head. That is a perfect example of a dual rookie card where both players, will be in the Hall of Fame.
Yes.
Great
Not
call.
yet, but they will be. You're right. A more recent one.
That's a great call.
This is absolutely right. Cecil Cooper, who I was just talking about with some friends, a huge member of the Wisconsin card community, and every kid in the 80s was mimicking his signature swing. An awesome hitter. I believe it was going around Instagram this week, Chris, that talking about in 1980 how Cecil Cooper hit 352 and lost the batting title by 38 points.
Oh my God.
George Brett hit 390. Yeah.
Of course he did. Yeah, I think
came up with the Red Sox, got traded in the Dave May trade.
Yep, I think I'm trying to. Ron Say is on Mike Schmidt's rookie card.
Yeah,
and if you ask my dad at any time of any day if Ron Say should be in the Hall of Fame, he will say yes. Anyone who wins a World Series with the Dodgers, my dad would put them immediately in the Hall of Fame, regardless of any other qualifications they might have or not have. Peeps, hey, thanks for joining us, and Thick Boy, thanks for joining us. That trivia link is in there. We're going to start in about 1 minute. Let me just throw it in here one more time.
1 minute. Yes, the original Penguin, 82, was nasty. It was awesome. It was absolutely awesome. A lot of MVPs, a lot of All-Stars, a lot of home run hitters on that team, and a lot of Hall of Famers.
I feel a lot of pressure tonight with trivia, Jeff, because as I mentioned last week, I took a week off. I was traveling. I wasn't here. You ran trivia flawless. No technical problems whatsoever. I come back and it just, for some reason, it started giving us an 11th question that didn't exist. So I'm beginning to think that I am actually the problem. Could it be that my life has been right for 20 years?
Yeah.
Don't say yeah.
I was saying we're going to find out tonight.
Yeah, we're going to find out tonight. I am in here double checking every last little detail that I can find.
SFO Sox fan, yes. Harvey's Wallbangers, a perfect name for a perfect team for the perfect city in the early 80s. And incidentally, Harvey's Wallbangers has been one of my fantasy baseball teams for at least the last 25 years.
Whew, okay.
Did not hear this, Scotty. Chase Davis auto. After he signed it, he wrote "Don't sell" on card. Hey, I love it when players write anything extra. So
yeah. Sorry, Acuna just dove for a ball. They're up 8 runs, and I literally just gasped.
My guy.
I felt like I took a breath, like my mom fell down the stairs. Like that's sort of the level of concern I immediately had right there. He's fine. He got up. Just let the ball bounce. Just pick it up and throw it in.
You can't stop the player. I hear it.
Yeah, I mean he shouldn't even be out there. They're up enough.
Willsey says, "I won the week you left, Chris. Go away."
Yeah. All right. So let's see how this goes.
Very impressive. Yeah. Great fantasy name.
All
right. Let's do this.
All right. We're going to start this. Oh, we got a pretty good turnout in there for a Friday night. Almost 50 people ready for trivia.
50 people. All right.
That's pretty good. All right, Jeff. Let's. You see it on the screen. Here comes the countdown.
Starts in 10. All right, everybody, get those fingers ready. Hopefully, you've been paying attention to the show. At least a few answers have come up. Which of these was not a real thing? A rally monkey, a rally squirrel, a rally mantis, or a rally python? Not to be confused with Monty Python. All right. The rally python has 57% of the vote, and that is true. The rally mantis people, you apparently haven't seen on Instagram. The Grail was acquired by Mantis.
We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it, Jeff.
On Jerry Koosman's 1968 Topps rookie card. Is it Bud Harrelson, Tom Seaver, Nolan Ryan, or Don Clenendon?
So many N's in that guy's last name, Jeff.
Clenendon.
I confirmed the spelling twice.
A lot of N's. 34 people went with Nolan Ryan. And you're absolutely correct. Yes, the Rally Mantis is an awesome card with a Salvi Perez. Who's the other guy on Ron Tompkins' 1968 Topps rookie card? Is it Pete Rose, Joe Morgan, Johnny Bench, or George Foster?
But Jeff, I got to say, Ron Tompkins here making Kyle Tucker look like Reese Witherspoon when it comes to a chin, right?
Oh, yes, indeed. Big Red Machine, 67% went with Johnny Bench, and you are right. M. Newbert, 247. Cav and Matthew are right behind. Michigan Cards and Graphs sneaking up there again. This iconic Mattingly rookie card is from what 1984 set? Was it Fleer, Donruss, Topps, or Score? Man, I wanted one of these cards, but I never had one. Maybe someday I'll get it. The centering looks about right on there. It's really rare to find those cards well centered. 75% of you went with Donruss, and you guys are correct, of course. Well done. Donruss rookie card. M. Newbert holding on to the lead. Michigan Cards and Graphs into the top 3. The movie Field of Dreams takes place in what U.S. state? Hint, it's not heaven. Is it Idaho? Is it Kansas? Is it Iowa? Or is it Illinois? "90 people got it right. Is this heaven? No, it's Iowa. 36 people got it correct. Well done. You're right, Scotty. Score wasn't a thing until 1988, so hopefully you got that Donruss correct. Who's chugging a beer in the background on Ohtani's Series 2 SSP? Is it Freddie Freeman, Yamamoto, Kershaw, or Dave Roberts? We've talked about this many times. This is a great card. We do briefly tease the Series 2 images. There's one. 40 people went with Kershaw, which you might guess by looking at the dad bod he was sporting, but it is not. It is, in fact, Yamamoto. SD Pliskin in the lead, 439. Celeste Dad, second place. Guess the Glutes, 2009 Topps Legends variation of the 3-time MVP and Hall of Fame. A, Mike Schmidt. B, Dale Murphy. C, Scott Rowland. D, Ted Williams. And my 8-year-old knew this one, Chris.
He did. He got it immediately, Jeff. I was so proud of him.
So did 35% of the people here. Sadly,
90% of the people, Jeff. 90%.
The glutes aren't quite as impressive on this shot, but yes.
Ooh, we got a neck and neck battle here, Jeff. Okay.
Whose 2013 rookie SSP is this? Is that Miguel Tejada, Manny Machado, JJ Hardy, or Chris Davis? I gotta say, seeing Chris Davis doing something athletic like that would be.
Can't picture it.
80% of the people went with Manny Machado, who is doing really well. He is on a Hall of Fame trajectory, one of his best cards. Pliskin up by 4. Celeste Dad closing the gap. What is this flagship parallel called? Is it called the Bare Naked, No Border, True Photo, or Topps Minimum? I have to say, there's a couple there that aren't the correct answers that I would love to see actual parallels of.
Right.
And some that I probably wouldn't. 85% of the people went with True Photo, and that's correct. One person went with the Bare Naked. Topps Minimum. That's a great name for one.
I want to see the Daniel Vogelbach, Jeff. That's going to be haunting.
Oh, jeez. Speaking of haunting. Okay, what's the name of the camp where a young Jason Voorhees dies in Friday the 13th? Camp Dingleberry, Camp Krusty, Camp Firewood, or Camp Crystal Lake? Let's see what we got here. 92% of the people are movie fans. Congratulations. Camp Crystal Lake is the correct answer. Let's see what we got.
Which Jeff's 8-year-old son also got, which I hopefully you didn't show him that movie yet, Jeff.
There's a Crystal Lake in Wisconsin, so maybe you recognize it from the map. He's a big map kid. Cav in third place at 709. Some high scores. Celeste Dad at 711. Yen coming in second. And SD Pliskin with a blowout score of 746. Congratulations. Wow. Well done. Well done, everybody. Some multiple 700 score winners. SD Pliskin, make sure you give us your info so we can get these non-glutastic Mike Schmidts out to you.
Yes. Yeah, congratulations. Oh, Celeste Dad, hell of an effort. I mean, to finish second twice, I thought you were going to be within 5 points again. But yeah, that's a pretty good showing as well.
Yeah. Both got all 10 questions correct.
You know, I think we got
first timer.
Got to start making this harder, Jeff.
That's it. Starting next week.
All right, it's going to get a couple tricky ones next week. But yeah, I like to mix in some movie stuff. I'm glad you guys got Camp Crystal Lake. But if anyone, no one selected Camp Krusty. I'm okay with that.
The Yamamoto beer chug. Yeah, we've talked about that on previous episodes. It's a pretty cool picture. Yeah, you have to go find it. Celeste's dad, according to Celeste's mom, knows his glutes. Well done.
I don't know what to make of that, Jeff. I think I'll just say nothing. It's probably the best way to go.
Christian, this is a good way to go out. So close. I was late to answer one and messed up on that drinking a beer. Oh, the Yamamoto. I thought you meant you messed up because you were drinking a beer. In either case, it's a good reason to mess up.
Right.
Guess the glutes. Made it in, Docs Cards.
Yes, thank you for I'll mix another one in next week. Thank you for the oh man. I gotta find a better picture of it. Yeah, thanks for sending those. I'm much appreciated.
Uniair wants some more gatekeeping here. No more 700 clubbers. Make it harder.
All right.
And M. Newbert, I completely get this. Yeah, if you hadn't heard us talk about it, yeah, Kershaw's notorious dad bod would have made you think that he was the one pounding the beers in the background.
I mean, he was just there at all those celebrations, Jeff. He was always like just shirtless. It almost felt like he was shirtless, like from almost the beginning.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is the Ohtani card in all its glory.
There you go. You get a nice view.
Yeah, and judging by, I don't think that's Yamamoto's first beer of the celebration.
He's had a couple already. Yeah, I sorry about this, sports guy Corey. Chris and I discussed him and thought he should make an appearance on that list. But hopefully you knew that he would never make a play that athletic.
Yeah, and I kudos to Jeff for pointing out that I combined J.J. Hardy and Chris Davis into one person at one point. But,
well, it can be confusing.
Yeah,
it can be confusing.
Yeah, an athletic shortstop that the fans loved, and the opposite of that in every way.
I'm not giving up hope yet, Will Z. I'm still hoping to see that.
Yeah. All right, let me just.
While you're doing that, Chris C, it's Junk Wax 2.0 era when cards are at Ace Hardware, but also Junk Parallel era. That's a nice segue and a chance for us to get to promote our latest Spitball and Cards video where we discussed what sort of junk era are we in, because that's been a hot topic of late. So if you haven't seen that, please check out our Spitball and Cards. And we give our ideas for the junk slab, junk parallel, junk auto era where we are. So check that out on Spitball and Cards.
Yep. In short, I think Jeff just nailed it. Spoiler alert. Yeah, I think those are the three that we are currently in. But yeah, this card is great. I'm not sure what that other Ohtani, I forget who it was that mentioned him in a suit with other guys. Maybe it's a league leader card.
League leader. Yeah, typically the league leaders, they put them together and they have been using suit pictures for that, which is fine by me. I don't really mind about that. Yeah, Shelly, I saw one did 750 and I think one did 1,000 too, didn't it, Chris?
Yes, as of right now, 2 have sold, 750 and 1,000. I mean, this card is great. And what I love about this, Jeff, I don't love seeing those prices because I want one of these cards, but I do love seeing the Series 1 SSP with the podium, the airbrushed podium. Just those cards just sit.
They're just sitting there.
Demand. No one
wants. It is about the image. Yep.
I like seeing collectors as a whole decide that image is not worth their time. I know we have some friends who are doing the Ohtani SSP run, and you and I both know when you're going for a run, you have to buy a card even if you don't want it. You need to finish the run.
Yep.
But I think the Ohtani collectors that aren't doing that are just passing on it.
Pass on the podium, grab this one. Yeah. Maybe Chosen with another idea for a name of the era. Mike Schmidt, the Junk in the Trunk era. A lot of representatives. Greg Luzinski would have been a nice representative from the 80s as well.
Yeah, there's a lot of thickness in the 1980s, Jeff, with 2 C's.
Yes. Yep.
But okay. All right, give me a second. We had that. Where were we?
You want me to tell another horror story while we're waiting for you to look for something?
Absolutely. Yeah, I think you had one personal one that I think you wanted to remind everyone about.
Yeah. Well, sadly, sadly, I have a couple personal ones. One that Chris can also relate to. But when I first got back into the hobby, I wasn't sure what to do about grading cards, so I typically submitted through group submitters. And there was one I found that worked really well for me because he was local and he was able to get the cards to PSA really quickly. And so I submitted through him multiple times. And his name was Mark's Cards. And I don't know, for any of you who have been in the hobby for a while, eventually, after I believe between Chris and I, we had about 180 cards at PSA. This was during the time when they took a long time to get the cards back. It was discovered that Mark's Cards had no money. He was taking all the money from his submitters. We had to pay when we submitted to him, but PSA didn't charge until you got the cards graded. So all of the money was going to him. And then during these months that it took PSA to grade the cards, he was spending the money. So when it came time to get the cards back, he had no money to pay for it. Well, it ended up becoming a huge scandal, and we got several emails, and we had to deal with bankruptcy attorneys because there was some question as to who owned the cards. PSA was claiming they owned the cards because the person that submitted them was not paying for them. So we had to submit so much proof, took all these pictures, had all these pictures of the cards we submitted, and it was several months, Chris, before we had any idea if we were going to get some of these cards back, any of these cards back. And there were a lot of base cards, but there were a lot of really cool, rare cards. I'm thinking of like Bryce Harper, SSP.
Yeah, I was going to pull one up that I know was nearly lost forever in there.
So there were dozens of emails and proof going back and forth between the bankruptcy attorneys, Mark's Cards, and the people that had submitted through him. And it was really a scary time because it was thousands and thousands of dollars of cards that we didn't know if we were going to see again. So it was a very hard time to get through, but slowly PSA agreed out of the goodness of their hearts to take all of that as a sunk cost and get all the cards back that they could to the people. And they did a pretty good job. Eventually we got all the cards back. In fact, I got an order of about 60 cards that was not mine. But instead of keeping those cards, I told PSA, and they said, "Oh yeah, our bad. Okay, send them back to us." And they made me pay to send them back. So I felt a little bit.
Yeah, that was absolutely horrifying. And a couple of I see some people in the comments. Yeah, like there were PSA was advertising Mark's Cards on their website, encouraging people to use them. And I saw someone ask where the money. So like it was more or less like a pyramid scheme. Like he was able to, as long as PSA was grading fast enough, he would, you drop off your cards with him, he'd take your money. He'd drop off with PSA, he'd spend your money. PSA would be done grading and the bill would come due, but he'd have more cards coming in. And he'd take that money. It was very Madoff-esque, actually. He'd take the new money to pay off. He was almost like an order or two behind, essentially. But PSA had to stop taking orders due to the COVID shutdown and they were bombarded. All of a sudden, he had no more money coming in and bills were coming due. And it was really scary.
Chris, I don't know if you remember, but they opened a physical card shop during that time.
Yes.
So all that money that people were giving him for PSA cards, he was supposedly paying for the overhead, and he was also entering breaks. It was a lot of people lost a lot of money, and PSA changed some of their procedures based on that because there was a lot of money that was lost. It was a bad situation overall, but it was really scary.
Yes, I just want to show really quick.
Yes.
These were 2 cards that Jeff and I had in that Mark's Card situation. That Bryce Harper, if that had been lost, I don't know. I certainly would not be sitting here. I might have been done with the hobby. I'm being completely honest. I might have been.
It was so frustrating because we couldn't get any answers. And thankfully, I had pictures of every single card, and I've spent hours and hours making these spreadsheets of exactly the cards that I sent in, when I sent them in, how much I paid per card. So it was just good that we had those records and were able to convince the people at PSA that they were our cards. It was just, yeah, it was a very harrowing experience. And since then, Chris and I have only submitted ourselves.
Yeah, I get it. And yeah, thankfully Jeff is very meticulous with that kind of stuff. But yeah, it was dicey. And in the end, I think PSA did the right thing. They accepted their level of responsibility for it because they were promoting that subber. So they graded all those cards essentially for free. And they sent out more 9s, Jeff, than I think anyone has ever seen.
And we still paid for it because we still paid the money that ended up going to Mark's cards that he spent. And I see that some people are in the chat are talking about SGC. And Chris, I don't know if you've seen this, but while you were gone, SGC has stopped their group submitter program. So previously people could submit through group submitter and then there'd be like a couple dollars off, where the group submitter could then make a couple dollars on every card. They have completely stopped that. And it's just another way that it makes me and some other people think that SGC is just going by the wayside, but it's really discouraging the group submitters to want to do that.
That's just, I mean, that's true. I understand. Like, yeah, I don't get that. I mean, did PSA buy them just to slowly kill them? It doesn't, or Collectors Universe, sorry, bought them to slowly kill them. I mean,
I don't know. And according, our friend Teapot sent out a tweet from his boss, Jeff, who had talked to Nat Turner from PSA, and who he said there's no truth to the rumors that SGC is going away, even though we haven't heard from Peter from SGC in a long time.
I would understand it if PSA wants to use SGC for mostly vintage, like try to get vintage only going through there, like 1980 and under, but I don't know. I mean, it just seems like it's okay to have multiple profit streams. I don't think they need to put everything into PSA, but you know,
this is a great Shawshank Redemption reference. Mad City Brew, well done. Oh, and SFO, way to call him out. Excellent. We've got some real good movie fans in here. Canes Lance says, I trust my LCS, so I'm assuming that's who you do your grading through. But I still take photos and date folders for orders and keep everything in order. Very smart. Chris, I don't know if you've seen, but this week going around Instagram is the GameStop employee who stole a bunch of cards from PSA.
Of course he did.
There again, that's happened multiple times and multiple losses of cards. So yes, you should really trust who you're going through. And like I said, I worked with Mark's cards and I dealt with him. I mean, I talked to him. I sent at least 6 or 7 orders in before that happened. And then of course, that was kind of where when Chris got back into the hobby. So Chris is like, well, what's going on? I'm like, well, I thought this was a good guy, but
hey, you know, that's just, unfortunately, that's a thing that.
So that's a personal horror story that was very, like Chris said, if it went a different way, both of us might have left the hobby. It would have been that discouraging and disheartening.
Yeah, absolutely. But I heard some. I mean, I think the most like. Well, I don't know. I'm kind of. I don't want to talk about any more sad horror stories, Jeff. I know you've got a great one about a Devers card that I am partly responsible for, which I think is pretty funny. Let's end on that one.
Knock that one out.
Yeah, let's end on that one. If you can dig through the wall that you and your therapist put up, so you don't ever have to think about that one again, I think it's a great one to end on. And then we'll get to some funnier things.
All right. Peanut butter. Yes, they cut the group submission discount is all they did. They want people to submit direct, right? So a lot of the biggest submitters are not going to do it because there's no money in it for them. They want people to submit directly, which is going to lower the number of cards that's coming in. Absolutely. Thick Boy, I did hear this. Kudos to Mel Brooks reprising his role of Yogurt in Spaceballs 2, due out in 2027. He will be 100 years old when it comes out. So love it.
Yep.
SFO Sox fan, I thought it would be a big nothing burger, to be honest. And I think a lot of other people did too. When they announced that they were going to do submissions, and I think PSA thought that too. And then the doors blew off with people dropping off Pokemon cards, and they're getting hundreds of thousands of GameStop submissions. So I mean, it's a bad idea from my perspective, but from a business perspective, from both of those companies, it's been a huge boon. I don't get it.
Yeah, I was surprised by it too. But yeah, like you said, with the Pokemon market also blowing up, it just seems like it'd just be too easy for a GameStop employee to take the paperwork and then just not file it, and the cards are gone. Like
Yes, which
it's
apparently has happened. Yes, and great reference there. Doc does not know about Bad Idea Jeans. Go check it out. YouTube Bad Idea Jeans. It's a great. In the 90s, there was a famous jean company called Bugle Boy Jeans. Chris, did you have any Bugle Boys?
I did not have Bugle Boys. I had Jams, the shorts.
Yeah, I had Jams too. I think I had one pair of Bugle Boys. It was like very acid washed out, a lot of pockets. But anyways, Bad Idea Jeans is a great, great SNL reference.
Oh yeah, not as good as Schmidt's Gay or Slit's Gay, but it's still good.
No, yeah, Schmidt's
All
Gay.
right.
You're right.
All right, Jeff, dig deep, dig out your Devers story.
All right, well, oh man, so I've already talked several times on this show about how I had a lot of BGS cards, and I've tried to send them to BGS to get regraded to try to get a bump, and that did not work. I got no bumps. So, this a Gerbode guy. Well, Rage, you had a lot more money than us Bugle Boy kids. And Junko, that was after our time. So, but I realized that PSA cards, especially PSA 10s, in some cases were getting a higher value, but I didn't always want to try to cross it over. But I had a Rafael Devers card, and it was a base card, a base auto. And oh man, Chris even found it.
This isn't the exact one. A little PTSD for you here.
Okay, so Chris found another card similar to this one, but it was graded PSA 10.
Yes,
and convinced me that the card I had probably could get a PSA 10.
Yeah, you had a min gem with a 9 on surface, and I'm like, Jeff, we could wipe this down. Like, should be an automatic. I want to say like yours was selling for like $250, and a PSA 10 base card at the time went for like $600 or $700. So I'm like, come on.
It was more than twice as much, whatever it was. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So yes, so Chris convinced me. It didn't take much. I'll admit it didn't take much convincing, because that's a huge return if I could just bump it up.
Yeah. Bump it.
So cracked it out. And how did it look, Chris? Do you remember?
It looked really good. It looked good. There was like the surface was really dirty. It looked like it had been subbed by someone who didn't really give it a good wipe down. So Jeff gave it a good wipe down.
I did, yeah. I mean, maybe some fingerprints on there. We thought yes. So
yeah,
it was.
It
would be an easy return, right? And at that time, I don't remember what the grading fee was, but it would have been a monetarily advantageous move to make.
Yep.
So I cracked it out and subbed it, and did not come back at 10.
No, it came back in a slab looked just like this one. Came back in a PSA 9, and I believe I'm going to throw another detail in here. I believe that was toward the end of when they were doing those lotteries.
Yes, the lotteries.
It was $50 to grade this card, and we're like, well, $50, but you're in it for like $250 or whatever. It'll be $300. It'll gem. You can sell it for like $600 or $700. Money in the bank, easy peasy, right? Comes back at 9.
That gave me more PTSD. Do you remember those lotteries, guys? Remember when PSA was so backed up with their grading that they you had to apply to a lottery to get picked to grade 10 cards, sometimes 20 cards, and then still pay a fortune for them. But it was like winning a privilege to pay them $2,000 to grade this stack of cards.
Right. My wife has a picture, Jeff, of us on a romantic dinner, and I am just face down looking at my phone, watching the lottery thing spin to see what number I get. So anytime we're having an argument,
the numbers on the lottery.
So you can just pull up that picture, and I've lost the argument, which is fair.
That lottery, yes, they made it a game. They made it a game for us to pay them money. So we did. So yeah, came back at 9, but it just seemed like it should have been a 10.
So anything worth doing once,
right? So let's spin the wheel play the lottery again. We get a spot, crack it out. That's still when they had crackable slabs too. We knew we could crack it out without any harm. So we cracked it out again, and I sent it back because I knew that even though I had to send it twice, it would still pay off. I would still end up net positive. And Levi. So I sent it in, and then months and months later, I got it back, and it wasn't a 9, but it wasn't a 10.
Yeah. Oh man, I still have like nightmares about this because I felt really bad because I felt like you cracked it because I was very enthusiastic about how you should do this, and it comes back an 8 the second time.
And that's not doing anybody any good.
No.
In my mind right now, as we speak, I'm trying to calculate how much money I put into that card.
I distinctly remember just the two of us staring at that slab in absolute silence for at least a minute. And I was forcing myself not to say, well, let's just do it again. Like I part of me needed to say it, but I think I bit my tongue so hard I was like bleeding in my mouth. I'm like, son, don't say a word. I'm not going to say a thing until Jeff says something.
Can you imagine like putting $1,000 into this card? Yeah. So anyways, we have a few grading horror stories. There were a couple mishaps with cracking cards out, dropping cards. We've had some horror stories that way too.
Yeah, but that Devers card, I'll never forget. Like we literally everything we did, it just kept coming back a lower grade. And I think at some point, eventually you just sold it, chalked it up to a loss, and just were done with it. But we were joking about like just subbing it all the way down the ladder. Like next time it's 7, keep it a 6, and then just roll it all the way through. But I mean, that one was particularly bad.
Yeah.
But I mean, and I see some comments, greedy monopolies, but I mean, like, yeah, a little bit of greed on our part as well. But it's a funny story, so maybe that was worth the $200 Jeff lost on the.
Yeah, it was a learning experience. Oh man, submit it again. Makes for a good video with the story. Oh.
Yeah, I was gonna say Doc's cards. That third time's a charm. That might have been the thing I was waiting to see. And I feel like at that point, though, we noticed now would have been handled by who knows how many people. We were starting to see some white on the back edges. Like the card has been through a lot at this point. We're like, now there's no way it can gem. I mean, that was.
Yeah, and I just had to get rid of it.
Yeah.
Well said, Mookie. I think a lot of these stories have it is in some cases money well spent because it does teach you a lesson. Agreed. Any other horror stories from people, or do you want to get to some Series 2 images?
I think I'm ready for some
horror stories.
Oh boy, I think I'm ready for some Series 2 images, Jeff. I don't know, like how much more. I think some of these are going to be horrifying enough.
Yeah, I'm going to have nightmares about subbing that Devers.
Which time?
Yeah.
My goodness. All right. So a lot of these Series 2 images are coming out. That Ohtani is great.
Yeah.
Looks fantastic. And this, I can't seem to find like a bigger shot of it. So you guys are gonna have to go on eBay and just grab a look of it on your own. But the Pete Alonso is fantastic. Yes, obviously it's a little bit glued heavy here, but it looked like he's coming up to bat and they're taking the opposing pitcher out. So they blacked out the stadium. You see all the cell phone lights. Like that looks really cool.
It's a little dark, but yeah, it's a pretty cool image because you see it. It's meant to be dark.
Yeah. Nothing a good horror sequel. This card just looks great. Again, I'm not a huge Pete Alonso fan, but he's got some great images. Polar bear aside, like this card just looks really cool. Great choice.
I hope he stays with the Mets. Side note, I hope he stays there.
I mean, I'm sure he sees, the direction the franchise is headed in, and he's probably pretty happy about it.
Yeah.
You know what doesn't look cool though, is this SSP of I don't know what this is.
Okay. Wow. You know what that reminds me of? The Seinfeld puffy shirt.
It sure does.
It's like hanging out over his hands. I'm guessing this is a red carpet show.
Yeah, it's the players gala at the All-Star game.
Yeah.
I mean, for sure. Just terrible. I mean, looks like he's going to audition to be an extra in one of the Pirates of the Caribbean movies. Like, this is really bad.
Exactly. Yeah.
Meeks International, A+ dog on the Meeks International YouTube account there. We love seeing dog photos. Sorry, I'm a little behind on comments. Thanks, Cape Cod Collector.
Yeah, thanks, Cape Cod. We appreciate you guys getting to join here. We're glad we could do it this week still.
There's someone at Topps, Jeff, who really, really likes these like off the field images. And Jack Sparrow parallel. I can't, I don't know. It doesn't do anything for me. There must be some people that also like them, but nothing about that.
Looks like the people that work there. I don't know.
So yeah, Yunior Garcia, very similar, but I believe Chipper Jones had a pair of like cargo shorts on.
Yeah,
which is almost worse.
Like Mariano Rivera too. Crazy Cryptids is titling this "Badly Dressed Man" instead of Adley Rushman.
Oh, I like that.
Oh yeah, Mookie looks like Walton Goggins' character. He does kind of. He'd need about 4 buttons unbuttoned on that shirt, and then he could be Rick from White Lotus.
Yep.
Adley doesn't want to be a pirate.
No. Yes. Yeah, M. Parsons, our fashion. I can't think of the word. Our fashion correspondent says it's a woman's shirt. I'll believe it.
Hard to tell Thick Boy from this. Maybe Chris has a better look. There definitely some shine to them. Can't tell.
Cannot tell. I don't know, Jeff. This is the smile of someone who, I don't know. I'll just stop. Levi, I think we're paraphrasing Marge Simpson here. But it just doesn't work. I'd rather have a potato. Yeah, M. Newbert. Yeah, these cards are terrible. They're just terrible. I get it if they want to use this for their all-star like inserts or their all-star whatever, the all-star set. Fine, but this is God.
No, they're not Bugle Boys. They're definitely too tight for that, and they don't have enough zippers. Bugle Boys had zippers. Chris, I don't mind if they want to do the league leaders when they can get some of these guys together on the red carpet. Like if they do a league leaders with them, fine, great, leave them there. But for their individual cards, have something on the field or something fun besides this.
And I know, Jeff, what I would sometimes say would be, it's cool. We get like a dugout shot, during the game, like maybe they're getting ready for their bat. We those photos. Or like, reacting to something in the dugout, celebrating with teammates in the dugout. Sometimes those can be cool. But I'm going to tell you, Topps showed us real quick that not every dugout image is a good image.
Oh, boy. All right. Okay.
Because what in the hell is this?
Now, is this just because they didn't want to airbrush another Kenley Jansen card? Or is it airbrushed? I can't even tell from this. Did they airbrush him into the Angels dugout?
I don't.
Fenway?
I don't know. It's got to be at the Angels. It's got to be in the Angels dugout. It has to be. But SD Pliskin. That's a great Chappelle Show reference. It's Kenley Jansen, so I suppose you could just look at it and be like, who cares? But we should care because this is just horrible. I do like how they made it horizontal. Like it's important we see both his legs. So let's
we got to see his full extension. You know what I'd love to see on something like Kenley Jansen? Get an SSP of when he was a catcher. Remember when he came up as a catcher, caught for the Netherlands? Love to see that. Yeah, this is what PSA would say. Watching his kid play T-ball.
M. Newbert says this is definitely Fenway. I honestly can't tell.
Says, it could be bullpen. I think it's Fenway, just looking at the green and then the red seats.
Okay. I'm trying to read what's on the above the dugout here, and I can't make that out. But that's a brutal baseball card.
JD Card says they probably should have done this guy a favor by airbrushing this a bit.
Right?
Yeah.
They could have tidied up the midsection a little.
Not a coincidence that he's photographed alone wearing that outfit. Yeah.
All right, so I
All
got
right,
a
so we have
couple.
some discrepancies. Some people.
Go ahead.
Chance is just letting it air out after eating too many eggs. He's
You
outside, right?
got to go outside. You have to go outside to do it. Yeah, it's impolite almost not to.
Let's go for dinner. Put a collared shirt on. Okay, can I still wear my jeans and tennis shoes? Okay.
Yep. All right. So
Yeah,
we have a lot of Yankee fans that our good buddy Shortput a Day, who filled in admirably 2 weeks ago, is a big Yankee fan. And so he and I have the three of us have a long talk about the Yankee SSP. So let's look at Jason Dominguez, shall we?
Oh, we've seen some of his pooping on a bucket. All right.
So
Okay.
yeah. Now Jake tells us that, well, it's because it's the Fall Classic. This is like a still frame from their World Series photo shoot that like Fox would air.
Okay. My first thought when I saw this is it needs more leaves. If you're going to have leaves falling, have a bunch of leaves or have them jump in a pile of leaves, something fun. This just looks total amateur hour. Conducting a salad, M. Parsons called it.
Yes, peanut butter. That's pretty accurate. Jason's first leaf card. Oh, I see what you did there. I like it. Yeah, D3C. But why? Like, I just don't. Yeah, welcome to Vermont. It really does. You put some syrup in the background.
And as a parent, yeah, it's like, okay, you're going to stand over there in front of the orange background, raise your arms like something's falling, and we're going to put some leaves in after the fact. No, it's good. I don't mind the idea, but the execution is terrible.
Absolutely terrible. And excellent. Speaking of Marge Simpson quotes, fantastic. That's what I said. Foliage. I can't escape Lisa, our little walking library. All right, so let's look at another Yankee one that.
Hey, I like this, curator. Change the Leafs to cell phones.
Oh, now we're talking. Now we're getting somewhere. All right, let's look at Austin Wells.
Okay. At least he's not pooping in a bucket, though, I have to say.
That's an excellent point. Not checking his cell phone or pooping in a bucket. It's a low bar, but they did manage to climb over it.
All right, what's going on here?
So I'm guessing this
Hold on. D3C Sports says, I think I like the Ohtani Series 1 better. You mean the shot that's half filled up by a white airbrush podium?
Wow, that's a hell of a statement.
Are you just trying to troll Chris?
I mean, that's like the is it Sherry or Terry when they're on the island who says, I'm so hungry I could eat at Arby's, and everyone else was just like, oh my God, she's so hungry. That's like the most the strongest condemnation of the card that could possibly exist. So yeah, D3C, I like where you're coming from.
All right.
So yeah, is he flossing? It looks like it. What I believe he's doing is twirling his mustache.
Oh, okay. But there's just not a lot of twirling going on. As a Brewer fan, I can tell you, Raleigh Fingers had a very twirlable mustache and had a couple cool shots. Never made it on a card, I don't believe, with the twirling the mustache. Love the idea. Again, you have to have a twirlable mustache to make this work. I don't really see it.
Austin Wells to me looks exactly like Peter Poole, the character Peter from Deadpool 2 and the Deadpool and Wolverine. If you're familiar with that, that is all I see when I look at this. I don't remember that actor's name. He's really funny. Someone can in the comments can tell me his name, but I don't know what this is. Now, Jake loves this card. Jake told me this one he really likes. Bought it right quick. I don't know. Maybe if you're a Yankee fan, like this has a little person. At least I will say this one has a little bit of his personality here. Like he's messing around. It's not leaves is nothing, and everyone can have leaves, but this is a little bit of a something.
A little bit of a something, right? Crazy Cryptid says it's barely handlebar. What do we got going on here?
Yeah, it does look like he's flossing. I forget who said that first, but that's all I can picture now. Someone just needs to Photoshop some floss in there.
Hey, this is a good call, Rage.
Yeah, I see it too.
Welcome back, Cotter. I thought Wells was showing off a gold chain, but league minimum doesn't afford a thick with 2 C's chain. Yeah, I mean, you can imagine somebody could just airbrush a chain in there as he's holding it up.
You could airbrush almost anything in there, Jeff, or Photoshop almost anything in there. Yeah,
I've not seen this one, all the lists, but
oh, that
I
is
love
cool.
the idea.
I will check that out. I'm gonna pull up another Yankee one because I'm frequently told we don't talk about the Yankees enough. What do you guys think of this Paul Goldschmidt?
I mean, he's almost unrecognizable, all clean shaven like that.
Right?
What's going on in the background? Is that Yankee Day? What is YD?
Oh, I thought it said yo.
Oh, it's Yo.
Hold on. Let's get
All
back
right.
to it.
Yeah, I guess it's Yo. Is that a Yankee thing? Yo?
I don't know what that is, but I don't hate this one.
No. Is that an apartment building behind the Yo?
Yeah, they on a roof? Oh, so it's probably in front of something that's saying New York. You probably should have figured that out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's not great, but it's not bad. At least compared to the other ones we have seen, I don't hate this one.
This is true. Battery says, I like how the card stand looks like his shoes. It does.
It
Like he
does.
got boots on there with the card stand. Yeah.
That's pretty funny. I mean, maybe because the bar is so low from the others, Jeff. This one doesn't. I don't know. I don't hate this one.
Yes, thank you guys. A lot of people are pointing out that you're right. It is the Yo from New York. So there must have been some sort of photo shoot. The night sky of New York in the back, the skyline in New York.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like in one of those windows there should be like a couple fighting, just to really, complete the scene.
Just people yelling. Maybe an audio version. Brewers win. Thank you for the update. 3-2. Love it.
But yeah, thank you to whoever. Again, Jeff, I forget the names, but whoever mentioned the Griffin Conine.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Oh yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah, especially now that I know Conine came up with the Blue Jays, but now he's there where his dad is a legend. Very cool.
Yeah, who wouldn't want their rookie card to be on a card like with their dad? That's awesome. So yeah, that one tops nailed. I have no notes on this one.
Nice.
However,
oh boy.
We do have some notes on some others. Real quick. Okay, so this is hold on, let me grab this one.
Curator, I like this idea. Go wide with the shot. Show New York as a whole. That would be great. I'd agree.
Yeah.
What do we got here? Is that the Puerto Rican?
Thought Yo was funny. So here's Kike Hernandez is that the Puerto Rican flag, Jeff?
I believe it's Puerto Rican.
Awesome. Celebrating the World Series. You can see that shirt is soaked with beer.
Of course.
And probably some champagne. Yeah, a lot of personality. I like this guy. He's a very fun interview. He started the Cup High Five, I think was last year.
Yes.
He's kind of a wacky guy.
Wacky. Some people are a little offended. He says a few off-color remarks on live mics, but he's definitely a good sport.
Yeah, I like that guy. I like that card. I think that's pretty cool for Dodger fans. I will say they did a good job. They did it with the Rangers the year before. All the SSPs are sort of
like a World Series celebration theme.
All right, let me just check because I want to show this one, and it's
Rage. Everybody has an SSP. Everybody has a Golden Mirror SSP.
Yes. Okay.
The pecker bump, ATL Jeff Black calls it.
There you go. That's exactly what it was.
Yeah.
All right. So I wish there was a better shot of this one, but there's a little bit of a glare. This might be the scariest SS Golden Mirror SSP I've seen in the 13. Right. So this is Michael Kopech. And I don't want to.
You're building it up now. Oh, man.
I'm just going to ask, what car insurance company does this card make you think of?
Oh no. Is this the Geico caveman?
Come on. Oh God. What is happening? What the angle of this? Oh my goodness. I don't know.
Hey, maybe it's the glare. Boy.
I'm not sure it is. I'm just not sure it is, Jeff. I hope it is, but I don't know.
Ooh. JD Card says I'm getting Golden Mirror fatigue.
Yeah,
I get that, but also the fact that people that either just collect teams or collect certain players that they can have something rare to go after. I like that there is that.
Okay, hold on.
Mookie Chilton, Encino Man, yeah.
Right? Ay. All right, hold on. I want to grab that one.
Oh,
And I'll take this one off the screen because it is scaring me a little bit.
oh no, Rage.
If you didn't like Otani with the podium, you're not going to like Jack Flaherty with the folding chair.
What? I'm trying to get the perspective. What is going on here? What is he doing?
I think he's at maybe his reintroductory press conference.
And they couldn't afford a podium, so they brought out a folding chair for what is that? A pillow on there or some notes?
Maybe they just couldn't take a picture without getting the chair included. I don't know. I just don't know.
Wow. Yeah.
This one makes me laugh, honestly. Like it's just pretty good. It's pretty good. In a terrible way. Like some of the top.
This is a great comment from JD Cards. I hope that's just to annoy Raptor, giving Flaherty this.
It's just so weird. Like if you want to use this moment, there isn't a photo without the chair in front of it.
Right, half taken up with the chair. Parson says photographer couldn't get front row access. You just got to be taken from the back. Sorry if anything's in front. Can't help it. Wow. It does look like he's running an auction here. Yeah.
Just, I mean, this one just makes me laugh. Like it's just so dumb.
Yeah.
It represents
it's a Herman Miller chair. I didn't realize it was a name brand fancy chair. Okay.
All right. So now I want to give out a shout out. SFO Sox fan sent me this one last night. If you saw my, we both put this on our Instagram stories, but anyone who's familiar or was a fan of, or their dad was probably a fan of NCIS.
Wait.
Yeah. NCIS Miami.
Oh, CSI.
CSI. I'm sorry. Yeah. CSI Miami. Thank you. Surely you cannot look at this card without hearing, I don't know people's names. The lead singer
David
of the
Caruso.
Screaming. Yeah, you have to hear the lead singer of the Who screaming when you see this card. You have to.
Pete Townsend.
Pete Townsend. Thank you.
Yeah, it looks like he's about to rip the glasses off, make some quippy comment.
Yep.
At a dead corpse or at a corpse laying by a pool, and then the Who jams in. Yeah.
He's he just looked at a crime scene and said something real clever. I mean, I honestly, Jeff, this card is silly, but this card, for whatever reason, makes me smile. I think it's
got the Caruso hair. It almost looks like it's an ironic picture, which give him credit for. Yeah. It's funny that they make this horizontal. Like it has to be just, I don't even know where he's walking out. Just these maybe a set of doors, unending mirrors.
Like for sure, someone at Tops was like, well, we have to crop out this whole thing. Yeah. I'm right there with you. I've been looking at this card a lot as well.
M. Parson says Kyle Wick. Yeah. Wow. Conan O'Brien, Men in Black parallel. I get it. It is very Matrixy because he's all dressed in black all the way up to the neck. Yeah, I get that. I get the Matrix vibe. I've not seen some of the. Corey Bird says he whips off the sunglasses and says, "Strike 3, he's out."
Hopefully this won't get us in trouble, Jeff, but I have to do it.
He's out.
All right, that's it. Surely that's not enough to get us in trouble. But you can't not hear that and look at this card. So I mean, honestly, I think this one's a win. I think this is a win.
I'll agree with that. It's not a red carpet. Kudos. And D3C is with you. He's taken back that he doesn't like any card not in uniform. He likes this one.
I usually don't either, but SFO sent this one to me last night, and we were both like, "Oh my god, it does look like the Heatmeister." The Heatmeister, yeah. I mean, I can't hate this one. So good for Kyle Bradish for looking badass on his card.
Yeah, he's coming out with the reveal. Very good. There's a couple other ones mentioned in here that I have not seen, Chris. Jose Siri kissing a ball.
Okay, hold on. While I'm looking for that, has anyone seen the Mookie Betts? Because that's the one I'm like, after the Otani, that's the one that I'm most interested in finding, and I have not seen it pop up yet.
Yeah, somebody earlier had mentioned no sign of the Betts yet.
That's Jose Siri, and he sure is. Wow,
is the ball just floating there?
Is he I'm going to phrase this. Is he creating suction to hold the ball to his lips? That's probably the cleanest way I could describe it.
That would be pretty impressive, I got to say, because a ball's not light.
No, and I think It makes me, he can't be laying on his back. Well, maybe he could be.
And then they just turned it over.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm a little torn on this. I'm gonna have to do some extra thinking about it.
Anyone else mentioned?
It'd almost be better if he was holding the ball than kissing it, perhaps.
I don't know. I don't hate it though. It's weird, and I don't know. It's visually interesting. I'll give him that.
Yeah.
Anyone else mentioned in the comments, Jeff?
Or his teeth are all broken now. Cade Povich looks like he wants to cry after a bad outing. I'll be honest, I don't even know who Cade Povich is.
I want to say, I think he's an Orioles pitcher.
Related to Maury Povich? Yeah, I believe he's on the Orioles.
Let me find it. Ooh, yeah, he did. This does sort of have the
JD cards. This is the worst card I've ever seen. It's confusing and kind of gross in some way. It's I don't disagree. Hearing shows that he's not in fact lying down. Correct. Very good detective work.
Oh, yep, good call. Yeah, this dude's Povich's face looks like somebody just got hit by a truck. Like he just gave up 6 in the second and has no idea what happened. Just that kind of blank stare.
Yeah, it's almost like the photographer's like, just look tough. Walk off. Just look tough. This is, when I hear a Povich, this is what I think. Yeah, Barca, he just walked in on his parents.
Isn't Maury Povich the "you are not the father"? So it looks like he found out maybe he was. I don't know.
Yes, that's what Mookie had to say.
Okay, sure. Sorry. All right, so Jeff, we've been on for a while. I want to give a couple quick IG shout outs before we call it a day. This card was in trivia, but I felt like we absolutely have got to mention this situation here with Rally Mantis.
Yes, we did talk about this, and I believe he's here, or he was here at any rate.
He was here, but he was also, so this is a quick backstory. So Turtle Cards apparently saw this for sale on something. I don't know. This kid is everywhere. He's got his fingers in every possible outlet for baseball cards that exists in the world.
It's impressive.
He helped me land a whale recently that we'll post a video about in a couple weeks maybe. But yeah, so Rally Mantis, whose IG name is based on the Royals Rally Mantis. There is exactly one baseball card in existence, Jeff, that shows the Mantis. We're looking at it right here.
Looking for it forever.
Yes, when we first met him at a card show, I want to say it was 2 years ago.
Yeah.
He was looking for this card. But Shelly the Turtle helped him land it. So thank you to Shelly and congratulations, Rally Mantis. This is a really, really cool card, and I'm glad you got it.
Yes, huge shout out. This is a Grail card. I know you've been looking for it. Huge shout out to Shelly for finding it. Shelly seems to be the card whisperer. So he says, if you're looking for a card, let me know, which I believe that he would help you find it. Yeah.
He's Turtle Cards 13 on Instagram. And yeah, he's like excellent private baseball card detective.
Yeah, which I might have him search. There's a couple cards I'm looking for. So
yeah, I think there's a CBS show called The Tracker. So we need like the card tracker.
I believe it's just Tracker. You took out the. Yeah.
It's cleaner.
It's cleaner. Japanese Hercules says, don't look at it, Marion. Keep your eyes shut. A nice Raiders of the Lost Ark reference. Yes, this is a very rare card indeed. Yeah.
And just and really cool. I don't know if we can zoom in and actually spot the Mantis in his little container, but this is just really cool. And by the way, Salvador Perez's head is gigantic.
Enormous.
Yeah.
Enormous.
Okay. All right. A couple more.
Babe Ruth head size.
Right. Very funny. All right. Hold on. What else we got here?
Shelly, it's Turtle Cards 13, I believe. Is that what you said, Chris?
On Instagram, he is Turtle Cards 13.
Turtle Cards 13.
I'll just go in order here. This group of Soto autos comes from Not Pristine. And I just wanted to say, Jeff and I love these 80s retro autos. They're all on card, not the silver pack ones. We don't like those. But these are all the paper ones in top. So here you go, 83 through 1990.
I mean, just seeing an 83 design through 90 run is a serious shot of nostalgia, and seeing a modern player and having it autographed, that's pretty darn cool. Yeah, very, very cool. And yeah, he should have a Mets one, I would think. If not in Series 2, then certainly by update, Jeff, he should have a Mets one. So I look forward to seeing Not Pristine's collection expand here. But yeah, there's like just a cool combination of
modern and nostalgia here.
Yeah, exactly.
And his auto has been surprisingly consistent.
And I do have to say, I like seeing these unslabbed. As we've seen, Chris, in person, these tend to be tough grades because they're all signed on card. They're thin paper stock mostly, and the backs tend to get a little rough. So I don't grade the ones I have. I just love them in a top loader or one touch. So that's great.
Yeah. Yeah. These cards are exactly collected as they should be. They look awesome. Yeah. Cat Dad 126, exactly what we're thinking. Yeah.
And sorry, I wanted to say Eskimo Sox fans doing a similar run with Wit.
Ooh.
Yeah, very cool.
Nice. All right, I like that. This would be the next card up. This would be a nominee for me of just from a purely aesthetic point of view, maybe the best looking card of 2024.
All right.
Even though it was released, I believe, in 2025. What?
Oh, I was gonna ask if it was the Otani.
No, it's not the Otani. And actually, I think this one actually did come out in 2024. But this is from J-Mart Cards on Instagram. Yeah. This is Acuna's Heritage Gold Refractor.
A 10?
Yeah, I mean, I ignore the slab, but the 75 design, the All-Star star, the facsimile autograph, the jersey, the fact that he's wearing his throwback. We got the yellow arm. Oh, everything about this card. I get all tingly. It washes away those horror story feelings, Jeff. That's
a great card.
It's the only I only saw this is the only one I've ever seen pop up. I would love.
I can't believe he gemmed to gold. That's incredible.
I can't either. But it's such a great image, and it's just the 75. Oh, everything about this just.
Yep.
Oh, it just pops.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, the throwback jersey. I want it. I need it. Never gonna have it.
No, that's great.
All right, a couple more here. All right. This is completely unrelated to that and extremely random. This comes from KC Cards IG. I think it's our friend of the show, Kyle. Shared this last week.
Oh, man. Yeah.
If you were a Mattingly fan in the 80s, or like I was on the East Coast on the 80s, I saw this card exactly one time. And there was a crowd of people around it at a show because they couldn't believe someone actually had a copy of this. It was like a legendary, maybe this even doesn't exist, like printed by the police and handed out. It's probably his earliest actual card. And it's just so cool to see.
That's really cool. No, I've never seen one. And as a huge Mattingly fan when I was a kid, I can't imagine. I can't imagine this. I mean, I didn't see anything of his till 1984. That's 1982, huh?
82. There were some Brewers minor league cards that given out by the police, right? Around the Milwaukee area.
It was all major league cards.
Oh,
so Brewer major league cards. So I've got a ton of Brewer cards from 82 from the World Series year, 83. Yeah. And they all had suggestions from the police on the back. I posted a couple on my Instagram looking back. Some of the suggestions that the police made are funny, but this is awesome. He's got a pretty given out in Columbus then, where he was playing.
Yes,
in Columbus. Yeah.
Correct. Yes, courtesy of your Columbus Division of Police Crime Prevention Unit.
There you
go. So there are it looks like there's 47 of these at PSA. So just kind of, and you can see the shape is weird.
Yeah.
And it also lists him as being in the outfield.
Yeah, he played some outfield, some third base, and it just. The swing looks so unnatural, and then when you see him in a game, he's got such an amazing swing. He must have been so young. Just pose, just do this. Yeah. All
right, I want to share at least one Stadium Club card, this week, and this one belongs to Superfractor.
Okay,
and it's a Trevor Story rookie auto.
Ooh.
Now I'm going to be totally honest. I'd never seen this card before Superfractor posted, but what an awesome Trevor Story image! Like it's his rookie. There he is on opening day. The color on this card is it's fantastic. Great angle, obviously a little glued heavy. On deck circle, opening day logo. Perfect.
Really cool card. I've never seen this. It reminds me almost because of the design of the True Photo Variations. It's just like a poster. I mean, you've got the little bit of writing at the bottom, but the whole field is open, the on deck circle where you got the MLB logo. Really cool. Oh yeah, if I were a story collector, I'd want this one.
Yeah, I love how he's looking at the bat. This is just awesome. Like this just popped up on my feed. I looked at it for like a few minutes. It's just really, really cool. I see a lot of people commenting. Yeah, the image is great. And Trevor Story has
like
actually
this
been
should
playing
be
that.
in your Stadium Club auto collection, Chris.
The problem, Jeff, this is one of those they didn't print a lot of.
Oh, okay.
So it does not. I don't see it. I looked around. Yeah, you don't see a lot of them. But it's very, very cool. Yeah, pants are baggy. You're right, John. You got to fill those out. I did hip thrust today, Jeff, completely unrelated for the first time in 15 days because of our trip.
Oh,
And
great tomorrow.
I was really hurting while I was doing them and sitting on this stool that I'm sitting on. It doesn't feel great. Tomorrow's
I can imagine. Yeah, wait till tomorrow.
Tomorrow's gonna be rough.
Yeah, Carlisle, I get this. The strange sticker placement too. It's like strategically placed on the far left. Mad City Brew, yes, I've seen the police cards. The Brewers went all out this year, Chris. I don't know if you've seen them, but they had an artist do essentially art cards, and they put them in packs, and even the pack art is really cool. So
nice.
I hope somebody gets their hands on those. I'd love to see them.
Yeah, you have relatives back there. Can't you send your sister to the police department or something?
Tell them to get some in trouble, get in trouble, and maybe they can get some.
Maybe
cards.
an anonymous tip. Call the police. Tell them your sister's cooking meth out of her house, and I bet they show up with some cards.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Write that down.
Yeah, there's got to be like a deep, like a fingernail imprint in there.
Yeah.
All right. My favorite Acuna post of the week, though, Jeff. Well, no, I take that back. The Heritage was my favorite.
Gold, yeah.
My second favorite is Kev Cards, who tends to post. I don't know if I've ever actually interacted with this Kev or if he's ever watched our show, but occasionally he'll just post these groupings of cards that are absolutely phenomenal. Like we got the Stadium Club Chrome auto in a shimmer. Then we've got an opening day SSP with a sticker auto. I mean, we don't have the sticker auto, but it is what it is. Then we got a First Bowman Chrome shimmer. And then I believe that might be a gold, just a 2018 gold, just sitting raw. I think it's just
gold sitting there. Yeah.
Hanging out raw at the bottom of this photo with a nice dynasty right there. I mean, in the casual way that this is posted, this kind of took me by surprise. I was like, oh my God, I want all of these cards.
Yeah. And it's funny because typically you and I both don't really like the shimmers as much as the regulars, but that looks really good on that shot.
Yeah, they both look great. One of the biggest glaring holes in my collection, Jeff, if I don't mind saying, is I don't have a copy of that top right corner, the Stadium Club Chrome Acuna auto. A couple came up for bids last year, and I cheaped out. I really thought I was going to steal both of them, and I lost all of them. So I've blamed myself pretty heavily. It's a mistake. Hopefully, I can rectify this year, but we'll see.
Yeah, and that's the one I mean with the shimmer. That looks really good. Him throwing that, and again, that jersey combo is great.
Yeah, but yeah, all those cards are awesome. So Kev cards. If you ever see this, congratulations, you got some great stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, last post to talk about belongs to another Kevin, our buddy Colorado collector. Posted this pretty stunning Matt Holliday. Superfractor out of one of the best sets of the last 20 years, 2011 finest.
Yeah, can never see enough from that set. No. And just to see a super is awesome.
Yeah, to be someone like him who actively or aggressively collects Colorado players, even when they're not wearing Colorado uniforms. Well, obviously we see Matt Holliday, we think of the Rockies, but his description here is really cool. Like you can see the forearms, which are massive. And the load up, like the energy that's about to be unleashed here is deadly, to say the least. But a very cool card.
And a member of the Holiday family Oklahoma dynasty, Chris, his brother won Oklahoma Player of the Year, and then he won Oklahoma Player of the Year, and now two of his sons have won Oklahoma Player of the Year. Just a Holiday family bashing tradition.
Is Holiday's wife an athlete of any kind? You have to assume she's got to be, right? I mean, man.
I would assume so, but I know Matt Holliday loves hitting so much. He's probably been teaching his kids the science of hitting since they could walk.
Yeah, as he should. Yeah. SFO Sox fan. I'm nothing if great with timing, if not great with timing. Mm-hmm. I'm really bummed I didn't just get those done, and now I'm stuck. I'm gonna wait till he hits 30 home runs in half a season and have to deal with it. And yeah, Shelly, he stole his first base tonight, and I'm with you. I was very unsettled. Happy he was safe, and I noticed he did slide feet first, Jeff, which is a totally new thing for him.
That's crazy. He did?
Yeah.
Wow. Good for him.
Yeah. I still have the oven mitt on though, so I'm not really sure what happened. But
so just in case he forgets and slides head first, yeah.
I guess.
Yeah.
All right. Well, anyway, those are some of the cards that jumped out to us this week.
Very good. Very good. I'm glad we, after telling some of those hobby horror stories, I'm glad we got to cleanse our palate with some amazing posts on Instagram this week. So very good. I expect that we'll probably be back at a regular time next week, Chris. I haven't looked that far ahead. I've got more Little League tournament games this weekend, so I haven't looked past that, but I think we're back on Thursday night next week. And we've got a couple videos that are in the works. So thanks everybody for continuing to check out our channel. We'll keep posting stuff on there. Anything you want to say, Chris?
Yeah, I would just say hopefully coming up next week, we'll have an Ohtani video to post. Jeff and I have both very recently. We had a plan for the spring that went by the wayside. We pivoted to Ohtani. We each picked up Ohtani cards that we love individually, and we're excited to make a video about it. Jeff's son, who's 8 years old, plays more baseball than I think I was playing at the height when I was like 13, and I was actually good at it, playing all the time. Your kid is playing.
Yeah,
it feels like 2 games a day.
Too much. We've got a couple weeks left. Then it's going to be we're going to ease back a little bit for the rest of the summer. But yes, we've got a little more baseball. And that video, I'm very excited about that. It's kind of shows that even when you make the best intentions or plans with the best intentions, things don't always work out. But maybe they're meant to work out the way they do. Yeah,
there's an expression about the best laid plans. I think someone even wrote a book about it. But I also want to say it's Friday the 13th. I want to wish Jeff an early happy Father's Day and a happy early Father's Day to everyone else in our chat.
Absolutely.
If you don't have kids, enjoy your weekend.
Yes. And if you only have pet kids, you still are a dad. So enjoy your dad. As M. Parsons said, a shout out to the boys and families in the comments who have lost their pets recently. We know how that is. So everybody give your pets extra hugs. Call your dad if he's still there, because I know you'll miss him when he's gone. Happy Father's Day, everybody, and we will see you next week.
Yep. And please don't forget to message Shelly the cards you're looking for.
Yes. Thank you, Shelly. Yes, the card whisperer. Message him. Ooh. We got a Brewers win and a Braves win tonight. Excellent.